still. There she is. There she is.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space, and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone. Hello and welcome to Indefinite Lunch and Infinite Combinations number 144. We're exploring all of the Twilight Zone, and today we're taking a closer look at A World of Difference and Long Live Walter Jameson. And joining me today to talk about these episodes, we have Scotty R37. How's
Hello.
your Tuesday going so far?
Our Twilight Zone Tuesday, terrific Tuesday.
Terrific, tremendous Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah, it's very alliterative.
Good.
Yeah.
And I want to say hello to the chat also as we get started here. DJ Knight is here. And we also got Sigvaldison saying, "Praise to our eldritch God who will free us of all our worldly troubles upon his release. Greetings to the panel and to the audience who will be assembling shortly." Yeah. And then that's good. He's ready to talk about at least the first episode with us. Then we also have Jedi Master 2022. He says, hey.
Hello, Master.
Jill bought it's no longer rant at the end. Oh, there's no rant? Oh, okay. I'll fix your link. I'm so sorry that I didn't know that it has been updated. I will update that link as soon as I can. Thank you for telling me that's been changed. And also thank you for letting me know you've been a member, Sigvaldison, for 2 months. And he says, I'm not sure how 2 months of membership rates as series superstars. Those are just your levels of membership. And so series superstars is anybody who's a member who gets the tier membership, and as you go up it's anti-derivative Avengers, and then the top one is Plus C Nation Integrators. And I put series superstar as the first membership tier because whenever I started calculus, that's the first thing we did was series. So that's where that came from. And there will be a membership stream next Wednesday.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, James.
Yeah, next Wednesday. I've got to make a thumbnail. James Caserta's here.
Yeah.
And
don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you do feel like becoming a series superstar, do it. Do it to it. Put your back into it. Hello, Master.
It's just $1, I think.
It's only $1. Have it, $1. And also, shout out to Stone Racket, who can't be with us here today.
Yeah, he's got a doctor appointment.
Yeah, so I hope everything is in the green for our resident Oldie Olsen.
He's okay with that nickname, by the way.
Now, took a while, but I'm glad.
Let's bring up the slides for these episodes, starting with A World of Difference. Here they are.
What an odd episode. I enjoyed it, but what an odd episode.
I think these are both a bit odd.
Well,
and notably,
between the two
neither,
of them. Yeah.
Notably, neither are written by Rod Serling.
That makes sense.
You're saying between the two of them?
Well, the Long Live Walter Jameson has more of a resolution, but I like the atmosphere of World of Difference.
I think, well, and James Caserta says something very important here. He says Pop would have loved this show. Yet, yes, he was going to. But obviously, he would be here. Bird of Prey 5 would be here. Pop culture curator. It's just I get these phantom memories. Like I don't remember the conversations perfectly, but I remember every once in a while it comes to me that he's talked about this episode, like the episode on the boat. What was that one called with the
Oh yeah,
at the end of it?
with the Germans, the Germans.
Yes, that the one where it's a perpetual hell of having to relive your crimes. I feel like he talked about that one. I feel like he talked about the second episode today, which is "Long Live Walter Jameson." I think that there was a point where he mentioned that, and so that kind of thing those are good feelings. Like, hey, I remember talking to him about this. But A World of Difference first aired on March 4th, 1960. It was directed by Ted Post and written by Richard Matheson.
Oh, the Matheson.
Yes, Matheson.
Who also famously Last Man on Earth, which would become the Omega Man, and I Am Legend. I recognize that name.
Well, as my co-host, I want you to pick which episode you want to read the opening and closing narration from. Since it's just us, we can both do one episode.
Okay. Well, you got to. I guess it flows better if I do this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it in the chat. We're ready for the opening narration.
Sure. Also, are you broadcasting from a funeral parlor? What's with the light chamber music?
I don't know. I thought I'd try something different. Do you dislike it?
No, I don't dislike it. I just think it's interesting. Okay. Should I go? I'll go.
Yes. Go.
All right. You're looking at a tableau of reality. Things of substance, of physical material. A desk, a window, a light. These things exist and have dimension. Now, this is Arthur Curtis, age 36, who also is real. He has flesh and blood, muscle and mind. But in just a moment, we will see how thin a line separates that which we assume to be real with that manufactured inside of a mind.
Yes, this is the story about a person's perception on reality, and so we start in Arthur's world. Sally's telling Arthur good morning. Where's Sally? She's gonna show up. There's Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Yeah, she's played by Gail Kobe.
Probably Kobe.
Yeah, she made a lot of guest appearances in the 50s and 60s. Of these, the ones I recognize are The Outer Limits, The Fugitive, even though I never watched that. That seems familiar. The M Squad sounds familiar too. I don't know what that
Mod
is.
Squad?
Perry Mason sounds familiar. Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, God.
Also. Gunsmoke.
Oh, Gunsmoke.
Yeah, and more. I'm only mentioning things that I know or know-ish.
Wow.
I haven't watched any of these except for Outer Limits and Twilight Zone.
She was a journeyman.
Yeah, the Untouchables, Have Gun Will Travel, the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, and Bewitched, and more.
My stars. Lady got a lot of work. Good for her.
She did.
I didn't recognize anybody in this episode, so I have no idea. This is
all
just...
well, with Stone Racket not here, I figured I better look up these people, see what they did. I won't have a fresh and full benefit of having sat there in front of a TV like he did, but I can at least say their names. All right, I'll turn off the funeral music. I'm sorry. That would be fun. I didn't know it was going to be perceived that way.
You have to make little sandwiches that are cut into triangles. Sometimes that's the only reason I go to funerals. I don't even like the people. I just want the little sandwiches.
Okay. Well, those are good.
They are good. The only place
Well,
you can get
yeah,
them.
especially when they're all different types of sandwiches. You got a choice between turkey and ham and tuna.
I like the salmon sandwiches. I tried to make salmon sandwiches the other day and they weren't that good. And I was like, I would just, if someone would die, I would be able to get my salmon sandwiches. Like if you go into a grocery store, this is a Norm Macdonald bit, but yeah, if you
Oh.
go into a grocery store and say, where do you get the little sandwiches? We don't have them. Well, where do I get them? Funerals.
Or just well, no, I've seen them at other events. They show up at they're just a general party tray thing. I want to say hello to Miss Sparkles. Miss Sparkles
Hey, Miss
is here,
Sparkles.
as well as Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Great to
Hey,
see you,
Gorilla.
Gorilla. Oh, grilled sandwiches are the best, especially with meat, says Miss Sparkles.
Yes, yes.
So we have Arthur Curtis here. He's played by Howard Duff. And out of all his roles over the years, the one thing I'm recognized was the movie that I've heard you talk about, No Way Out. I've heard you talk about this movie, haven't I?
No Way Out with Kevin
Oh.
Costner and Gene Hackman.
Yes.
Huh? He was in that?
Yeah, he's in that. I don't know what he did, but he's in it.
Huh?
Yeah.
I that was a recommendation, and I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I did end up seeing it, and then I was like, I don't like this. So
You didn't like it. Well,
yeah,
anyhow, you
yeah,
saw it anyway.
I did see it. I did see it.
And he was in it. And then there was Bonanza. He played Samuel Clemens. Oh.
Huh?
Okay, that's funny. I didn't realize he played Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Cool. And of course, the Twilight Zone, Burke's Law, Combat, The 11th Hour, Batman. He was in an episode of Batman.
Oh my stars! He was probably a policeman.
The episode was The Entrancing Dr. Cassandra. If anybody knows that.
I do not, sadly. Now I want to go and see if I can buy the Blu-rays of Batman.
And he's gonna. Well, wait, never mind.
What?
And that's about all I can recognize. I'll let you guys look at the. Oh, right. Naladoc isn't here, but he would know him from his recurring role as Paul Galveston during the 6th season of Knots Landing.
Knots Landing.
10 episodes. So he knows this guy. And Gorilla's Censored Thoughts says, Kapla, only swinging in because I haven't seen the episodes. And Scott still hasn't eaten the Snicker bar I threw at him.
I'm sorry, Gorilla. I thought it was poo. If I knew it was a Snickers bar.
Yeah, considering it's a gorilla throwing.
It's a gorilla.
Brown things at you, I would understand not trusting it.
I went to the grocery store yesterday and I said, can I get a bag? And they said, would you like a reusable or a brown bag? And I said, that's racist. Yeah, they didn't think it was funny either, but I thought it was hilarious.
It's not really that funny. But anyway, Gorilla, you're not supposed to feed the Scots. Jedi Master 2022 says, Scotty R, get the 4K digital on Fandango. They're great. Oh, for the Batman.
See, and I don't have a 4K player, so I'm happy with the resolution on Blu-ray. So I'll probably just pick up the Blu-ray. It's cheaper too. But yeah, no, good recommendation. Thank you, Master.
Oh, I watch on my TV and the chat on the phone. It's been happening lately. What's been happening exactly? I'm sorry, that's annoying. Gosh. Apparently, James Caserta is available 24/7. That's exciting.
Much like Batman.
Also exciting is that Arthur is very happy. He's got a busy weekend. He's got to deal with his daughter's birthday coming up on Saturday, but also on Saturday he's Saturday night he's going to be going on a vacation. I guess maybe they've set up for the daughter to be taken care of by the grandparents. I have no idea, because I was really getting into all this excitement here. And
yeah,
Sally is an interesting secretary. She doesn't just do office stuff for Arthur. She does domestic things. which is a
Well,
little strange.
I take the role of a secretary in the 1960s as it was presented to me by watching Mad Men. So it's almost like when people talk about their work wives, like this, a secretary in 1960 is your work wife. She will take care of everything, both business and domestic.
Yeah, I thought that was strange. I was like, okay, this doesn't seem like company business. This is like you're going on vacation and you can't buy your own airplane tickets.
Well, don't forget. Well, no, that's what the money is for. That's why they pay the
Mm.
secretaries, is to take care of all of the things so that things work well. And if you go above and beyond, much like modern day, then you're doing better at your job. And so
Mhm.
also no internet, no computers, like it's basically just typing and arranging schedules. What else are you going to do? It's like, oh, I need tickets to San
Yeah, I
Francisco.
filed
All right, I guess
everything
that, yeah,
already.
exactly. I've already collated.
Valdison says, sigh. I am apparently just a dog to be kicked by Miss Sparkles. Maybe I truly need to have a similar resolution to the one in this episode. Wait, what? What's going on?
There is no
I
resolution in this episode, Siggy.
Miss Sparkles said I said sorry. I don't know. I don't know what's happening between you two, but I hope it's okay.
When you guys fight, it feels like it's my fault. I'm sorry.
I know. I feel responsible now for this conversation.
I know.
Jedi Master, watch Godzilla -1. Great movie. Buddy, you need to see it.
Yeah. I have seen it. I haven't seen the black and
Oh, you
white
have
version,
seen
but I did. Oh yeah, no, I got it on recommendations, and I saw it. I watched it with my dad, and he
I
was
don't
like,
know
"That was
why.
pretty good."
I don't know why I thought you hadn't seen it.
I love Godzilla. I'm a big
Oh,
Godzilla
good.
fan.
You are. You are a big Godzilla. You destroy. Wait. Okay,
Yeah.
so then somebody yells cut, and we see a
Yes.
film crew, and it seems like a film set. Arthur seems baffled by all of it. And immediately I thought of the Truman Show, but this is not like the Truman Show. This is his actual reality coming through.
Well, and this was sort of one of those things, because I'm sure that you've done it. I've done it from time to time, is that I'll just pause in day-to-day life and be like, computer and program. And then nothing happens. But I was thinking the same thing. Is that I wish I was like walking around the mall or something, and someone would be like, cut, do it again. What? Back to places.
What? And how would you react to that?
I don't. I think I would go as crazy as Arthur Curtis. People like, can you
Find
imagine?
yourself.
Like, yeah, like the rug completely torn out from under you. Your entire life has been a performance, and all of a sudden that there's stage lights, and someone comes over to you and says, "All right, Lisa, what's going on, Lisa?" And it's like, my name is Jill. Like, if someone came over to me and like, Carl, what are you thinking? You
Doing
drunk
everything
again?
you think.
Like, my name is Scott.
Everything you think your life is all fictional, and
Yeah.
you're not. You don't. I've heard of actors getting deep into their roles and getting lost in them, but this is a whole nother level of transportation. He's completely forgotten his previous life.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis just walking around in regular life being like, I am Abraham Lincoln. Oh, I like
Someone
that.
on the set is calling him Jerry. Oh, go ahead.
Jerry? Come on, Jerry. Pull yourself together.
They're
You
calling
drunk?
me Jerry. Well, yes, and that's another thing. He's apparently an alcoholic, even though we don't really see him drinking in this episode. He's managed to stay away. And
yeah, like that is something that's sort of glazed over. Like, we're supposed to know that Jerry is not a good guy. And Arthur he's so, what? You're saying I'm this drunkard? And it's like, we've never seen anything to indicate it except for what other people are telling him.
Yeah, like usually they have, like, if they're an alcoholic, they have like a flask or whatever.
Yeah, or like like bottles. But again,
I guess
he's Jerry. He's playing Arthur Curtis. So Jerry would be the alcoholic, and they probably wouldn't have any bottles on set just to avoid any of the mishaps.
Oh, that's right. He's not being Jerry. He's being Arthur, and maybe that's how he got away from the bottle, is becoming Arthur.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you
and
think that
digging
this is?
into his happy life.
Yeah. Do you think that this is an alcohol-related psychosis that we're observing?
I don't know. What kind
Is
of
this?
delusion makes you forget everything about your previous life and accept a fictional one?
Uh, I don't want to reveal too much. This isn't that kind of meeting.
Hey, hello to Matt G. You don't have to say anything you don't want to share.
Hey,
That's
Matt
right.
G. Drugs.
Miss Rifle says drugs.
See?
James Caserta says I play a good guy in real life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Well, everybody, yeah. But that everybody plays a good guy in their own story.
Yeah. And Arthur completely rejects the notion that he's Jerry or that he's ever been Jerry. He doesn't remember a damn thing of it. Ever. This entire episode.
My name is Curtis. Arthur Curtis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're the director is deciding they need to call his agent Brinkley. And
now, yeah, well, we'll get to him when we get to him. But
Jerry's
like,
told,
yeah.
Jerry's told by Sam that if he has to call Brinkley, he's dead, and that's foreshadowing. I thought that was fun. There's a bit of foreshadowing. Sigvaldison says, "No, I do not, Scotty. He is confusing reality, the garbage we deal with a more ideal fantasy world."
Yeah.
Yes, that's good.
That's why I play Fallout New Vegas.
Jill's banner is dead naming?
X.
Twitter? Oh, X. Oh.
Yeah.
See, I don't recognize X as a name. That's why I don't use it. You know what Twitter is. You know, you can still type in Twitter. As long as I can type in twitter.com and it takes me to X or Twix, whatever you want to call it, it's still Twitter.
I call it a dumpster fire of negativity.
There you go.
.com.
And yeah, Sam's played by Peter Walker, one of those people, Peter Walker. He did stuff like the Alfred Hitchcock presents. He didn't really do much.
I appreciate the confusion. Like, we do get a sense of that's the director, that's the producer, and but we're not really. The only person who identifies their position is the director, and everybody else is just like, "Who are you?" And I think the audience, it's really well done that the audience has to be like, "Who are you?" to all of the characters they're interacting with.
Marty Fisher, yeah, he's totally confused as to how Jerry is acting. So he must have just recently lost himself.
Oh yeah. This is the way. This is the way it starts. This is how it happens.
And Marty Fisher is played by Frank Maxwell.
Ooh, I wonder if Maxwell has a house.
Maxwell's house, yes, and he did stuff too. Let's see, anything that I recognize? No, I don't know any of this stuff. Our man Higgins, you know what that is?
Not a clue. The only Higgins I know is from Magnum P.I., and I didn't think he had a spinoff.
That girl?
That girl with Marlo Thomas, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Barnaby Jones.
Barnaby Jones.
Sounds familiar. The Love Boat? A two-part episode.
They had cliffhangers on the Love Boat? Like, what happened? Iceberg, right ahead!
I don't know. Moving on.
Yes.
Arthur Curtis. Yeah, he's trying to call. He's like, okay, I know I'm Arthur Curtis. He tells the operator his name, his address, his phone number, but he's told none of these things exist. But that's where I live. How could I not have a house? And Fisher tries to talk to Jerry in his dressing room. That never happens. Arthur tries to get away, but he's nearly mowed down by his ex-wife. It looks like he owes some alimony or something. She wants her money. Her name is Nora Reagan, and his name is supposed to be Jerry Reagan. And she needs her money. She's shaking him down. And she's played by Eileen Ryan.
Eileen Ryan.
Eileen Ryan. She appeared
Never.
on what?
Never seen her. Never. This is the first time I've ever encountered Eileen.
Well,
come on, Eileen.
She was, yeah. I was hoping somebody would say that. She was on Bonanza. She did. What did she do? She did stuff. The Odyssey Theater. Oh, her last role was the 2016 film Rules Don't Apply. So if you ever want to see her in a movie that's kind of recent, that's that.
Well, she does a great job.
Yeah, she does a good job here, definitely.
As playing a vindictive bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we don't know anything about Jerry. So maybe
Fisher's
Jerry
trying
deserves
to get Jerry. Fisher, the director's trying to get Jerry some medical attention. Like, oh, I got to call this guy an ambulance. He's gone crazy. And I think he's trying to get him in a mental institution, like in that other episode. But that never happens. Fortunately, that would be boring.
I'm going to have to look this up because James Caserta brings something very interesting to the table and saying that
is she
Jerry
really?
Ryan's mother. Yeah, no, I'm going to look it up.
No, he could be joking. Is he?
He could be.
He
I don't know,
right.
but I'll check it. I'll look. I'll find out. Hey! Comic Relief Crusader. Thank you so much for the yesteryear photos that you sent in our chat. Appreciate it.
Yes, those brought back some great memories. Thank you, the Comic Relief Crusader, and thank you for being here. And the chat bot has posted your channel. And so Arthur, actually Jerry, who still thinks he's Arthur, tries to look for his fictional house. He cannot find his fictional house because it is fictional. But apparently it's pretty close by enough to his real house. And so he thinks he sees his daughter, his fictional daughter, Tina. And so he accosts this poor little girl who screams and runs away.
Well, I thought it was funny that, like, if you look at the picture of his daughter and then you look at this girl, even from behind, no way would you confuse them.
Yeah, their hair is completely different for one thing.
Completely different.
They still have the same haircut.
Oh. No, Eileen Ryan, not Jerry Ryan's mother, but that's Sean Penn and Chris Penn, the Penn brothers. May you rest Chris Penn's soul. But yeah, no, that's Sean Penn's mom. I didn't know.
It's somebody's mom, so good call, James Caserta, for helping us find that she is a mother.
Yeah. She did procreate.
She did procreate. She did make more of herself. And Jerry is still saying, my name is Arthur Curtis. My wife's name is Marion. I have a daughter named Tina. We live at Venture Road in Woodland Hills. But he's trying to find this house.
Well, no, because it doesn't exist. It was written. It's a fiction, Jill. It's a fiction.
The shooting script.
Yes.
Not even gone through full production yet. And she wants her money before he goes out on another bender, which apparently I guess he does.
That's what we're told.
And also, his agent finally shows up.
I really appreciate that throughout this episode, it's like whenever there's a car close by, he just takes it. He has no interest on what car is where. They all have keys in them. He just, I'll take this one.
Yeah. Everybody leaves their keys in the car, very conveniently for him to use. It doesn't. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I was like, whose car is this that he's taking? But that's what I say at the end of the episode where he takes it and drives back to the studio. He's like, what? Where did this car come from? It looks different from the other one. It might be his agent's car.
Still, He's just stealing cars.
Yes,
He
Grand
didn't
Theft
ask
Auto.
for it.
And so Brinkley here says he's going to get his team to shoot around Jerry so he doesn't have to go in today. And the excuse will be that he's sick. And Nora wants him to sign that check. Yeah. She wants her money. That's her entire character. Give me your stinking
That's
money.
where I know David White playing.
Okay. Brinkley is
Give me my money.
Brinkley is played by David White, who will come back in another episode in season 3 called I Sing the Body Electric.
Ooh.
And
no, but he was
he was in Perry Mason.
He was in Bewitched.
Yes. Yes, he was in Bewitched. Let's see, where's that? He played Larry Tate on Bewitched for the entire show.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Just checking out his Wikipedia, I had no idea that Bewitched ran for 8 years.
There you go. Yeah, and he stuck with it all those 8 years.
Well, you got to get paid. Holla, holla. Dollars.
Yeah, good role for him. And then he did some guest appearances on other shows and stuff. And then Pitchables, Mission Impossible, $6 Million Man, Have Gun Will Travel, My Favorite Martian, and Dick Tracy.
Okay. Ooh, Dick Tracy, you say?
Yes.
Miss Sparkles in the chat says, I do like the old fashion of this time. So do I. Yeah, absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I could just walk around wearing a suit all the time, I would do it. I would totes.
Wait a minute. It says here also that he played the role of J. Jonah Jameson in the pilot episode of the television series The Amazing Spider-Man. But maybe he didn't play it for. Did he play it for the whole series? Was that a running series or?
Well, the Nicholas Hammond 1970s. I think that there were 2 seasons, maybe 3 tops. But yeah, it makes it the full run, and you can get them. They've been spliced together into movies and whatnot, but or like television movies. But yeah, the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson in the full series, he looked older than this fella.
I don't think you've seen this movie, but you'll be happy that I repeat it. He also appeared in the movie The Happy Hooker Goes to Washington.
Ooh, I'm glad that the hooker was happy.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to say hello in the chat to Booger414.
Are you going to play the clip?
I am.
Good. Then I don't have to say.
Booger!
I don't know. He might like it when you say it.
Booger.
See?
I like saying it.
That happened. And
Bewitched remade their own episodes towards the end. Well, yeah, that makes sense. But it's nice that Dick York got to play some of the roles that Dick Sargent did, or vice versa. I don't know which Dick died first. And Booker in the chat says the fact that Nicholas Hammond hasn't been given an MCU cameo is a crying shame. Yes, I agree, because even Garrett Morris got to be an Ant-Man. But I think that Nicholas Hammond kind of has the win, because he was the director of Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and so he has been given the Tarantino touch, if you will. That sounds worse than I wanted it to.
No, it sounded great. Jedi Master 2022 says I love My Favorite Martian. Ray Walton also played Applegate in Damn Yankees.
Huh, I've never seen Damn Yankees.
And the comic relief crusader tries his best. That's good.
Oh, you succeed, sir.
Try your best. And I like hearing Scotty say it.
Yeah, Booger. It's fun.
So, Nora's buckling down now. You're going to sign this check. You're going to sign it now. Gerald Reagan, GeraldRaigan. It's like, in case you forgot how to spell your name. And Jerry Reagan says, "That's not my name. Now listen, this has gone far enough. I'm not Gerald Reagan. I don't know any of you. My name is Arthur Curtis. Do you hear me? Arthur Curtis, and I work for." And so he tries to telephone his company, but of course it's fictional, so he can't telephone his company. It doesn't work. But Greek Letters Larson is here, so that's good news.
Hey, yeah. Once Upon a Time in Halloween.
He never
Once Upon a Time in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
He never accepts his reality. Ever. Like, I keep expecting him to finally break down and accept it, but he doesn't. Here, we got a brief reading. I'll put it in the private chat. It's a brief one.
Do I have to do it? I get to do it? Well, I guess I'm the only one here. If you're putting it in the private chat, you don't want to do it, so I'll do it.
Well,
Watcher X is here.
We're both gonna do it.
We're back and forthing. Great. Watcher X is here and says, of course. He looks so sad. I think that his performance is so fantastic with that. Yeah, he does look so sad. And Watcher X says, the Tarantino touch, just call it a foot massage. Agreed. Agreed, sir.
Yeah, good one, Watcher X.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll be Brinkley.
Yes. Jerry, sometimes I like to escape myself, away from this turmoil, to some simpler existence.
You're telling me that this is a delusion? That I'm really Gerald Reagan, a drunken...
Gerald Reagan, a sweet, unhappy man, burdened with that harpy, Jerry Reagan, trying to find a little happiness. That's all. And so,
yeah, I love that. I did really appreciate that. And it's one of those things where when addressing like alcoholism, which I have some experience with, I like it when the people surrounding the people afflicted by that particular abundance or disease, if you will. And it's like there's always sort of a way to make it that you're not just that affliction, you are more. And I think that was you're just a sweet, unhappy man. And you're looking for happiness, and you found it, unfortunately, at the bottom of a bottle. It reminds me, again, like the beginning of, I think it's season 6 of Mad Men, maybe season 7. And Don Draper is on a plane, and he's hitting on Neve Campbell. And Neve Campbell is talking about her deceased husband. And Don says, well, what did he die of? And she says, he had a terrible thirst. And it's like, oh, so he drank himself to death. And it's just with that one line. And I love the layers of discussing alcoholism in film, but that's just, it's a hobby of mine, not alcoholism, but the addressing of it in polite society.
It's a very faint one here, because it's really more about his delusion of believing he's Arthur.
But he is Arthur.
His problem.
But again, I think it's a psychological break. He's not. He's not Jerry. Arthur. You think that this is a delusion?
Of course I do. He's Jerry Reagan.
You've seen this show before. It's the Twilight Zone. He's been plucked from our reality into the Twilight Zone.
Yes, but everyone else around him believes he's Jerry. He is Jerry. He's got a trailer. He's working as an actor. The only person who believes he's Arthur is himself.
And later his wife.
Yeah, but that's on the set during his delusion.
Oh, that makes sense too. But show. Anyway, we'll get there. I'm getting ahead. Yeah,
we are. Well, anyway, as a result of this breakdown, The studio has canceled production of the film featuring Arthur Curtis. So they've essentially killed Arthur Curtis. Arthur Curtis is dead. And so upon hearing this, Jerry races back in. Yeah, he steals a car and he races back to the studio. He wants to get the movie going again.
Well, and I like the unease that I felt with this, and also we get our car chase that should have happened a couple of episodes ago. But the unease of this delusion, if you as you see it, I see it as being the last portal back to his real world, his own existence. He's going back because it's like, you can't take apart my world. This is my life. That you're striking the sets of my life. And so the desperation there is fantastic. And James Caserta says, Jill doesn't vet her panel. Funny. Yes, Jill has been vetting her panel for, 2 years? 3 or 2 years. And I'm still in the audition phase. I feel like
True.
Ringo.
I choose who I have on, and I'm happy with my choices.
Me too.
Yeah. This is the only identity he recognizes, and he's seen it being torn from him.
Yes.
And for me, I do think it's a delusion. It's an actor who's got lost in a role that he admires, a man he admires. He's trying to become. But it's too late. The set's already been taken apart. The picture of his movie wife and daughter are even gone from their frames. They just take the pictures out. And that was a good thing to do, because they come back. It all comes back. The set goes away. The walls come back. It's as if everything's real again. And so he's back. He's back in his, what I think is a delusion, what Scotty thinks is his real life.
Yeah.
Marion, his loving wife, and they're leaving for their travel to San Francisco.
It's so funny to see like 1960s couples showing affection, and where like a hug and pressing cheek to cheek is pretty much the equivalent of just jumping and pouncing on your wife and being like, "I'm so glad you're here." And it's like, whoa.
If it was real, I don't know if he's just kissing the air, but you think it's really real.
I think it's real, and I think that it's kind of touching that he gets rescued by his wife. Like that's the part that would absolutely destroy me, is that if I was in a loving relationship with a wife and child, and then someone said cut, and it's like, what? Hang on. Am I married still? It's like, what are you talking about, Jerry? You got to pull yourself together. You got a wife. She hates you. Find the checkbook.
Kid too. So are they taking the kid too? Hopefully.
It seems that's where the timeline of the entire weekend sort of falls apart for me, is that he immediately says, let's go on vacation now. And it's like at the beginning of this episode, sir, you said the only thing that your daughter could talk about was her birthday party. And now apparently you're just running away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm going to stick with the fact that this is the delusion, and he does not have a loving wife. He has an ex-wife who's trying to take him for all he's got.
Am I
Hello? Can you hear me?
This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful. Yeah, I can hear you. I think my computer is screwing up.
Yeah, it looks like it's you. It's not me.
So, okay, I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to do a restart because it's been effing with me for a couple of minutes. Okay.
Okay, great. And when you get back, you can do the closing words for me. And
yeah, sounds good.
We'll
I'll be double plus quick.
Okay, great. So, all right. Okay, so the walls, everything, it's as if everything was real again. He encountered his wife. They decide to run off to their vacation early to San Francisco instead of waiting to Saturday. And he can escape at last. But reality, for a brief moment, reality tries to sneak back in, but he holds Marion and he runs. And when I say that reality tries to sneak back in, you hear this dialogue that says, all right, let's get those lamps and tables out of here. So that's, of course, the workers taking away all of the set, breaking down the set. And so they run. And it seems like he really does. He catches a plane. There's a plane. Though Sterling's final words makes it seem like, do these words actually mean that he's died? But let's see what those words are. Actually, I can't wait for Scotty. I gotta read these words if this is to be continued. And so I guess I'll read the closing narration for this one. Or I could check out the chat. There's 36 chats. So let's put a pause on the closing narration, and I'll ask that question again when Scotty returns. So let's see where we are in the chat. I think I remember where we were. Miss Sparkles said drugs. X is the horrible name. Agreed. Twitter was a foul leftist censor hole, says Watcher. But Twitter sounds a lot nicer. I like to tweet. I don't like to post. I like to Twitter. I don't X. It just sounds nicer. I'm definitely being a lustful secretary, says DJ Knight. What the hell, DJ Knight? Okay, I guess that follows with you. And yeah, she needs her money. Definitely. That that wife, that was her entire character. The ex-wife's character was. Yep. And gotta pay me that alimony. And two Darrens. Okay, so that's where I was. I'm checking to see where I wasn't. Scotty doesn't love musical theater. I don't think that's true. Did he say he doesn't like musical theater? I might have missed that. That's not a name. This is a name. Yes. Oh, that private chat. Most likely mocking me and maybe the audience. No, we don't do that. No, the only thing I put in the private chat was the dialogue for the episode so we could do a reading. He never accepts his reality. You say that, Jill, as if it's a bad thing. Well, it's also kind of confusing. But when we read the closing narration, you'll see why. This guy looks like Larry Tate from Bewitched. It was Larry Tate from Bewitched. Did I master? And so what else? Is that an episode about alcoholism? Not really. Well, he is an alcoholic, but we never see him doing any kind of drinking. So it's an interesting perceptive because he's not being Jerry. He's turned into Arthur, who doesn't drink so much. So I'm interested in that because he never accepts his previous life. Booger414 says this is a common theme in sci-fi. Even though the story comes first, it reminds me of the Trek story Visit to a Weird Planet Revisited, as well as the movie K-Pax. Wait, what? The Star Trek story Visit to a Weird Planet Revisited. What are you talking? Okay, this is it's a book. It's a short story by Ruth Berman. Visit to a Weird Planet Revisited, the fourth in the anthology of the New Voyages. In this story, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley switch places with Captain James T. Kirk, Commander Spock, and Dr. Leonard McCoy. Oh my god, so kind of like Galaxy Quest? While filming the Mega Glory. Interesting. Wow. Okay, that seems like fun. I gotta read that. Thank you, Booker. And I guess that's another movie where you've got actors who need to accept, who need to fall into their roles, even though they, at least in Galaxy Quest, they all know who they are. But they do find themselves back in their previous roles from long ago. Life is just a fantasy. Can you live this fantasy life? And that's a song. Scotty's voice was going robot for a few moments. Yeah, I was. I was hoping that that wasn't the case, but it turns out it was true. Are you experiencing internet slowdowns, or is it just me in the Twilight Zone? Yeah. Oh, and there he is. Welcome back.
It's all right. I had a bathroom emergency while I was rebooting.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, do you want to hear more?
No.
Okay, good.
Sigvaldison says, I believe that he did step into the Twilight Zone, which was the fantasy world his mind created. Yes, that's what I think. It's Sigvaldison. We're on the same page here. That is how I envision it, and I wish I had such an opportunity. Yeah, basically, he created his own matrix.
See, and it's up for interpretation, and I don't think that there is a wrong answer. Like I believe in Arthur Curtis. I think that Arthur Curtis is the real one, but then it does sort of pose an interesting thing in that what if Jerry Reagan's psychological break created Arthur, but then, and that's how the two parallel worlds sort of intersected at the Twilight Zone. And so I think they both exist. But I want happiness for Arthur Curtis more.
I want happiness for Jerry, but Jerry's not happy. He would be happier if Arthur were real.
Yes.
Please read the closing narration, and we'll continue to analyze it a little bit.
Okay. I thought you okay. So the modus operandi for the departure from life is usually a pine box of such and such dimensions. And this is the ultimate in reality. But there are other ways for a man to exit from life. Take the case of Arthur Curtis, age 36. His departure was along a highway with an exit sign that reads, "This way to escape." Arthur Curtis, en route to the Twilight Zone. Da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, happiness pie.
Scacerta is agreeing with you, Scotty. Arthur's psychotic break created Jerry.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing is at the end when Marion shows up, it's just like, so how does she exist? And I know you say that it's still on the set, but this is the shot that makes me think it's like, okay, no, Arthur gets to go back to his real world because they're leaving on a jet plane, don't know when they'll be back again. But it shows that Arthur's world is real, as real as Jerry's. And so seeing both of them sometimes you don't have to understand the Twilight Zone. Sometimes the Twilight Zone just is.
But it says here, it seems like he really does catch a plane when you're just watching it. Serling's words, however, makes it seem like Jerry might have died because he mentions, departing from life is usually in a pine box. So he's talking about, of course, a coffin. And
yeah,
and this is the ultimate reality. So is it just Jerry facing his death, or is he really on an airplane to San Francisco?
Well, it's a good question. I don't have the answer, Jill.
And in a way, Serling agrees with you. He doesn't say the main character of the story is Jerry Reagan. He says the main character of the story is Arthur Curtis, age 36.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And at the beginning, in the opening narration, he says, and Arthur is real, flesh and bone. And so there is sort of an assertion that Arthur is of sound mind and body. He just gets like foul fate. The Twilight Zone is. I love it. It's great. I like this episode.
I do like this episode because I can't tell which one is the real one. And
but I think that's the point. That's my interpretation. So
I think he's really Jerry Reagan. I mean, you think he's really Arthur. I want
that's
him
it.
To be him being Arthur would be the happy ending.
Yes. But it was also the happy beginning. Like this is, and that's the part that is, I don't know. This would be interesting to flesh out a little bit more, just to see, because you get the sense that Arthur is a kind and loving husband and father, And you get the feeling that Jerry is, for lack of a better term, a son of a bitch. And so, I don't know. It's kind
but
of.
no, he's not a
It's
son of.
okay.
You keep saying that Jerry's bad, but he doesn't mean to be. I think his agent says that he's a sweet man who's trying to find happiness.
Yeah, because his agent gets 10%. Never trust an agent.
Well,
Like
he's an actor. He's an actor who needs this work. He's got an alcohol problem. He's got an ex-wife who's trying to take his money, and so his life isn't going very well. But if he hides into his character that has a much better life than he does, then can he really escape in that way?
That is something that could have been played with a little bit more. And they do mention it. Like Brinkley does say everything that you're talking about is written here in this script. But I wish that there was something like, when you have one of those moments and it's like, tell me something about yourself that only you would know. And it's like, if Brinkley had said, you were born in such and such to these parents, words, Jerry, just fiction. This is your character. Like, they don't drive that one home. Like, they do present it, but Arthur has no time for it. He's not even paying attention. He's not an actor. So.
Oh, a kind of Batman syndrome? Oh, that he's both? Oh, okay, both are real.
Yeah,
James could serve that.
they do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jill,
it reminds me of that episode of
okay.
Of Batman Beyond, where someone's trying to torture Bruce Wayne, and they keep talking about all the things that Bruce Wayne has done in his life that have failed the people around him. And at the end of the episode, Terry McGinnis, who is the Batman of the future, he's like, how did you know that it wasn't actually a psychotic breakdown? And he's like, because the voice in my head kept calling me Bruce. And it's like, so? And it's like, that's not what I call myself, inferring that Bruce Wayne always refers to himself in the third person as Batman. And so I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, tangent. You're welcome.
Interesting. Okay, so he relates more to his alter ego.
Yeah. Well, that's always been the thing with Batman, is that Bruce Wayne is the mask, Batman is the man.
Makes sense. Oh,
hey! He lives!
Hey, we yeah, Stone Racket made it. Hey, welcome. You got here just in time for the second episode.
Oh, welcome back. I want to talk about the first episode.
Okay, well that's good because we're right at the end of the last episode. So if you have anything to add,
yeah,
World of Difference.
A World of Difference, stellar performances, huh? Howard Duff, of course, was married to Ida Lupino, and of course we know that Ida Lupino was in the 16 millimeter Shrine, another story of someone escaping into the world of fantasy.
Yeah.
And here we have her husband, Howard Duff, in A World of Difference. And Ida Lupino was so impressed with her husband's performance, she requested a 16 millimeter copy of the episode so she could watch it in her 16 millimeter Shrine. I mean,
then she was going to walk behind the real...
And the actress who portrayed the soon-to-be ex-wife of Walter Jameson. Not Walter Jameson.
Jerry
Reagan. Yeah, Jerry Reagan, otherwise known as
Arthur Curtis.
Yeah, I just got back from my appointment, so I'm a little rushed here.
Yeah, is everything okay? Yeah.
But did you guys? She is the mother of who? Of what famous?
The Penn Boys.
Yes. All right. Excellent. Okay. Well, that's all I have for the first episode.
Eileen Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, and one thing. That I'm sorry. One thing. The house that he approaches that he thinks is his own home, and then he sees the little girl next door. That house, of course, that's on the MGM lot, but that is known as the Philadelphia Story House, because that's from that film. Slightly altered from the 1940 film, but I thought that was kind of interesting that they used that.
We definitely missed
Philadelphia
that.
Story
Thank you.
is,
That's
yeah,
good.
it's
I've never seen
much
that.
more whimsical
Yeah.
than Philadelphia.
Yeah, the the opening when Cary Grant shoves Katharine Hepburn. That's that's the house.
Nice.
But yeah, but anyway, that's what I have for the first one. Even though,
Perfect. So there's
despite the fact, or despite I already said that stellar performances all around, and
absolutely.
and then one other thing, my memory banks are finally functioning here. The Ted Post, the director, he was so enthralled with the performances that he would sometimes forget to say cut when the scene was at an end, and so the assistant director had to, hey, you're supposed to say cut. It's the end of the scene. So he got a little distracted because he was so carried away by the performances, which is understandable.
Wow. And sometimes the most brilliant directors are a little bit absent-minded.
Yeah, definitely.
Jacob Ironside is here. He says, "Hello,
Hey,
Jill.
Jake.
So glad you're going through the classic Twilight Zone. Me too. Me too.
Me too.
This is a real treasure for me.
Me three.
Yeah.
So they never cut.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like,
they're still acting today. They're still finishing the scene.
Yes.
yeah. Arthur Curtis is still meandering around San Francisco.
I'm Arthur Curtis. I've worked
Yes.
for, yeah, I love that. He goes to the window, looks out, and goes back to his desk, and then he hears the word cut when he can't get the phone to work, and then all of a sudden, where that window was is now, wait a minute, this is a studio. What the heck?
And just
Oh,
in
there was
terms
something
of,
about that I forgot to say.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice. The whole wall was on rollers, and it was swept aside silently while the camera was focusing on the telephone call sequence, when the phone obviously is just a stage phone. So, or I should say, a set, part of the set. Then we cut to the the director of the so-called film that is being produced, and yeah, I really like that. It was a nice touch. And it's interesting that the Zachary book has one version of the story, and the commentary track by the director is another, because on the commentary track, Ted Post said that Buck Houghton was a little bit, he wasn't too sure about what Ted Post wanted as far as the whole wall being able to move. And then in the Zachary book, it's just the opposite, where Buck was all for it. It's like,
No, they don't agree.
no questions asked.
Oh, can you ask? Oh, these people, are they still around to ask?
Oh, I don't know.
To get the real story?
Let's give him a call. But yeah, Ted Post. That was nice that he did the commentary track for that episode, and he just goes on and on about how great the performances are, of course. But
oh, he's gone as of 2013.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a stellar episode. I don't know. Do both of you agree that
Yeah.
you enjoyed
Yes,
it?
we both liked
Yeah.
it. We both
Uh-huh.
enjoyed it. There's the
And
poll. You may vote.
oh, yeah. I gotta sign in. Scotty, was World of Difference better than Time Enough at Last for you?
Oh no, you would ask that.
Oh,
It's
I'm
an
sorry.
It's an interesting question, and don't forget to vote in the poll. And while you're there, like and subscribe. But I don't like. They're different episodes. I
Yeah.
think that the Long Live Walter Jameson has a better resolution. But like you said, the performances and the questions that are posed by A World of Difference are so interesting and kind of stick with me longer. I don't think it's hard to choose in the chat, in the poll. I chose Long Live Walter Jameson, but I would be interested to check out the audio commentary on A World of Difference. Like it's such a neck and neck race that even when I choose one, I feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're both really good, but I agree with you, Scotty. I'm going to vote for Walter Jameson.
And that's a lot of nostalgia just for me looking at a young old it up, like, because and they do age, like they give him the gray hair and everything, but I love Kevin McCarthy. I think Kevin McCarthy is great. Kevin McCarthy is up there with Robert Vaughn as one of those. I don't know why he wasn't just such a leading man.
Hello?
He should have been a Sean Connery. Hi.
Knock, knock.
Am
We're
I
going to move on
roboting?
to the next episode. No, you sound great.
Let's go to
I just didn't know how to transition, so I just said some weird things, and I want to move on to Long Live Walter Jameson.
Speaking
and the way
of
that I
weird
like to
things.
start these discussions is to say when they first aired. Long Live Walter Jameson first aired on March 18th, 1960. And let's see who. Oh, I didn't write who wrote it and who directed it. Where's the
It was Charles Beaumont wrote it, and Anton Leader directed it.
Yeah, where did my notes go on that? Thank you.
And
Anton
as we
Leader.
all know, Anton Leader directed the Reluctant Stowaway episode of Lost in Space.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
And I think he directed a few other episodes too of Lost in Space, but I may be mistaken on that. But I know he did direct that one.
Okay, great. So I need you to read the opening narration for this episode.
Oh, okay. Excuse me there. You're looking at Act 1, Scene 1 of a nightmare, one not restricted to witching hours or dark rain-swept nights. Professor Walter Jameson, popular beyond words, who talks of the past as if it was the present, who conjures up the dead as if they were alive. In the view of this man, Professor Samuel Kittredge, Walter Jameson has access to knowledge that couldn't come out of a volume of history, but rather from a book of black magic, which is to say that this nightmare
begins at noon. Sorry that it was missing.
Begins
that
at noon.
Sorry, it was missing because the private chat only allows so many characters.
Yes, it went, which is to say that this nightmare B. So what's nightmare A? Yeah.
This is nightmare.
Yeah, this is
nightmare Z.
This section where he's reading from the journal contains a rather major blooper. And if you would allow me, I'll read from my book here, because it's a highlighted section of the book.
That's perfect, because I know that Scotty wants to talk about Kevin McCarthy, and so you'll read about the blooper, and when he gets back, we'll talk about McCarthy.
Okay. Jameson implies to his students that General Sherman ordered the Union Army to set fire to buildings in Atlanta, September 1864, and even started the fires himself. The correct statement should have been that the Confederates, in blowing up the ammunition depots, accidentally set fire to the remainder of the city. If Charles Beaumont had only remembered the facts from Hollywood, the actual situation was correctly depicted in Gone with the Wind. The blooper did not go unnoticed. Numerous viewers wrote to both Serling and CBS, pointing out the mistake. And as Serling himself explained in one reply, the script in question was written by Charles Beaumont and very likely should have been checked for accuracy before a judgment like the one made was allowed to slip through. Since I don't happen to be a Civil War buff, I'm not at all knowledgeable in this area, but I'm disturbed that any misstatement of fact would occur on my show.
Well, apparently he got he mixed up Sunday with Tuesday. Or what was the blooper exactly?
the fact that Jameson says that General Sherman started the fire himself, and the correct statement should have been the Confederates, and blowing up an ammunition depot accidentally set fire to the remainder of the city.
Oh, okay. So he didn't start the fire.
Yeah, it's
It
in
was
my
always burning
in
since the world's been turning.
in my humble opinion, I always look for, when I read books on World War II, I look for Patton bias, and when I read Civil War books, I look for Sherman bias, and this one, Beaumont has a Sherman bias because it's very revisionistic. Uh,
Yeah,
but
but it's interesting. It's interesting based on the fact that Walter is he was there, so maybe the history has been revised because he was an eyewitness.
Well, yeah, according to Charles Beaumont.
Yeah, exactly. But again,
But
it's subjective.
yeah, Sherman, just incredible with the technology of the time and the Civil War, how fast his army moved. And of course, do you both know about the Sherman neckties?
No.
What the Union Army would do to the Confederate railroad? They would take rails and heat them up and twist them into knots to sabotage the railways. And another thing I remember from the Civil War documentary that was on PBS back in the 90s is Sherman, you know, everywhere he went, you know, the slaves were freed and would follow the army. And Sherman said, "I don't know whether I'm Moses or Aaron, but I'm part of the congregation," as far as leading the slaves that they freed
Oh, that's cool.
as they progressed through the South.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
So yeah.
in this episode, we have Professor Walter Jameson, played by Kevin McCarthy,
Hells yes.
what played the lead in Invasion of the Body Snatchers
Yeah.
in 1956.
Yeah, but
1956.
okay.
Directed by Don Siegel.
His most important role, Kevin McCarthy's, was as the evil network head in the Weird Al Yankovic movie UHF. That is my favorite Kevin McCarthy role.
Well, he was his most famous role, of course, Jill just related, and then this is his second most famous role, at least according to the commentary track.
Yeah, according to him.
Yeah, according to the commentary track on the Blu-ray done by Kevin McCarthy himself, he says that he gets the most mail about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then second, very close second, is this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wasn't Kevin McCarthy a bigger star?
It's one of those mysteries. I mean, he's very good, and he you know, in approaching this role, he just wanted to understate, you know, wanted an understated performance, because he kind of figured that, you know, being over 2,000 years old, he didn't want to call a lot of attention to himself. He was kind of, you know, fit into the background for most of the time, except of course when he's teaching class. Then that's a different story where he's basically living history, you know. But
yes, and we will talk more about. We'll talk about that soon. We don't want to jump into. We haven't even started talking about the episode yet. So what Scott Stornrack is saying is going to make more sense in a few minutes.
Yeah.
After we've actually started talking about this, but I wanted to say that also he was in the movie Inner Space, which was just reviewed by Trev Retro's channel. That's a good channel. And also he was in, I haven't seen this in a long time, Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh, you know what? I've never seen it. By the way, Jill, speaking of Looney Tunes, you know what I saw yesterday?
Yeah, you saw the day the Earth blew up. right? Is
Yeah,
that what it's called? Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
still need to see it. It's in
I
theaters
know
now.
it is.
Go
I
support it.
support it. If you want to see Coyote versus Acme, support this film. The distribution company, Ketchup, they are championing uh, the Looney Tunes in all shapes and forms, and so yeah, highly recommend. Just for fun.
Now, Jill, I haven't seen the Looney Tunes back in action movie in decades, and in with Kevin McCarthy, does he do a parody of Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah, I
And
think
Yes.
so.
yeah, because you know, I think he does the frantic. You're next. I remember.
Well, and it's also like you gotta love like Kevin McCarthy's one of those actors who is absolutely appreciative of where his notoriety came from, and so even in the '70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers, he's in it.
Right. That's right.
Like,
And he's doing his panicked guy in the street thing,
yeah,
if I recall. I haven't seen that movie since it was released in the theaters, but I remember him. Well, I knew he was going to be in the movie because of Starlog magazine, and
wow.
so I was looking for him, and there he was, and he looked pretty much like he does here, except just you know, a little more gray. Uh, but he still looked pretty good for, you know, 22 years later.
Oh, yeah, that's something he does mention. We'll get there. We'll get there too.
Or
So,
not. Yeah, 22 years later. Yeah, it was 78 when that came out, right? 78,
did he
79.
did he appear in both versions of Invasion of the
Yes,
Body
he did.
Snatchers? He showed up in the one with Leonard Nimoy.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
he
good.
did his panicked man in the street thing from the end of the original.
And speaking of
So-
Leonard Nimoy, don't forget to celebrate his birthday tomorrow that he was
Oh, his
here on.
birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. Hooray. And so we get to celebrate that he was here with us on Earth.
And to
And then
celebrate
we
Leonard Nimoy's birthday, I will watch Three Men and a Baby.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh,
I'm going to watch 3 Star Trek episodes.
Nice.
that's a good way to go too.
I'm going to watch This Side of Paradise, Amok Time, and Journey to Babel.
3 Men and a Baby might have been my introduction to anything Star Trek related.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy directed that.
yes.
Well, he had, yeah, in 1986, he had the two highest grossing, he directed both of the highest grossing films. He
Yeah.
did Star Trek 4 and Three Men and a Baby.
There you
Wildly
Yeah.
different films.
Wildly different films, and
go. No, they're both science fiction. No,
they're both comedy.
no, yeah, they're both humorous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them I recorded on VHS. It's
Ooh.
3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah, Star Trek 4 was a lot of fun, and I got to see it. Every time I went to see it in the theater, I was with a different group of people, and I got to see it with most of my siblings, and we all even though I had seen it like 3 times already, I got a kick out of it because they were enjoying it. It was the first time for them seeing it, and watching them, hearing them laugh at things. Made it, you know, just as enjoyable as the first time I saw it.
Well, Star Trek
Nice.
4 was the first.
Yeah, well, I
the
always
first,
enjoy it.
the first Star Trek movie I saw in theaters.
Uh-huh.
When you can see someone else enjoy it, yeah, that does make it a lot of fun. Classic
Yeah.
Comics says he was the villain in Inner Space, so we're still talking about McCarthy here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're still
An
talking about Kevin
underrated
McCarthy. It's going to
movie.
happen the entire time.
Yeah. Watcher X says Looney Tunes are for sale. Warner Brothers don't give an F. That's like Disney putting the rodent up for sale. Absolutely
Yeah,
agree.
that's
Yes.
absolutely outrageous.
It's
It
a
is.
tragedy.
It's
It
tough
is.
pill to
Tragedy.
swallow.
And hopefully somebody that just loves the Looney Tunes with buku bucks gets the library and does it justice, you know?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so, because there's still some that have not been released on Blu-ray.
I'm still okay with getting the
Yeah.
DVDs of those.
Yeah, do you have the Golden Collection? That's 6
Yeah.
volumes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have that. And I have so many volumes on DVD and Blu-ray of the Looney Tunes. And it was funny. My older sister was asking me, for her youngest, needed some more Looney Tunes. And even though it wasn't a holiday or his birthday, my great nephew got a whole slew of Blu-rays one day because Uncle Stone Racket said, "Oh, I'll fix that right away." And I sent like half a dozen Blu-rays to my sister for my great nephew to enjoy classic Looney
That's very
Tunes.
good of you. Every
Yeah.
kid needs to experience Looney Tunes.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's
I.
timeless.
Oh yes, definitely. And my other sister's kids, of course, when they were over at Uncle Stone Rackets, I usually opened with the Looney Tunes cartoon and then proceeded on with whatever movie I was going to show.
For indoctrination.
Mhm.
Gavin Blackburn. Hey, hello to Gavin. He says late. I'll have to watch on the rerun. And Greek Letters Larson says, did somebody compare Twilight Zone and Looney Tunes? No. It was just that McCarthy was in
No,
a Looney
we
Tunes
were
movie.
mentioning the filmography of the great Kevin McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of
Yeah.
filmography of great people, we have Professor Samuel Kittredge. And I love watching a show about professors because I go straight to calling them their first name. So we can call him Sam because in
Hey,
school,
Sam.
I always
Mhm.
I was always the student, so I had to say Professor Kittredge or Mr. Kittredge, or if they
Yeah.
have a PhD, Dr. Kittredge.
Yes.
And so since I'm not a student today, he is Sam.
Okay.
And Sam is played by Edgar Stelly.
Well, and he
Edgar.
does a great job just in terms of
And
the relationship that Walt and Sam have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Like.
I like the duology. I like how they play off of each other because
Yeah.
even it is it to a lesser degree because Sam has something on Walter, but it reminds me of that sort of that interaction between Indiana Jones and Marcus Brody in terms of mentor and colleague. But then you discover, oh, the tables they turned.
yeah,
Also,
there's
It's,
an
it's
that old
interesting.
lady.
Yeah. Estelle Winwood. Yeah.
She was born in 1883.
Right. And
That's
Just
2 years
5 years.
before Marty went
Just
back to the future in Back to the
just
yeah,
Future Part 3.
she
part
she
3. Yes,
she
Yeah.
it was just
she's
okay.
mostly a stage actress, and she
But that's
refused
what I
to
was gonna say.
she
Is
refused
that
to
she was only 5 years old when she decided to become a stage actor. Like she decided early.
Yeah, I was going to say she refused to appear in films in, until age 50 when she finally did a movie. But I remember her from she's one of the investors, elderly investors in the film The Producers by Mel Brooks.
Oh my!
Well,
Yeah,
when you start at age 50, every role is gonna be elderly something.
yeah.
But
But
she's
yeah,
but she
one
was born so long ago, 142 years ago. But
yeah,
she's not 142 here. Here, she is 77.
77.
She
I
died
thought you
at
played.
101 years old, just 1
Good
year
for
before I was
her.
born in 1984.
I thought she played Nana in Sub Rosa.
Oh my god.
Just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, no,
But we're
I'm still
we're
reacting
one,
to that.
we're once again on the Andy Hardy Street here. Um, but it's nice they once again filming night for night in glorious black and white.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The things that they
Yeah.
do with shadow and darkness in the black and white photography is fantastic.
Oh,
Hey,
it's fantastic.
FKHC 2005. How are you, sir?
That's right. He is right. She was in The Magic Sword. You are
Never
correct.
seen it. What's the magic sword?
It's a fantasy film from the oh gosh, I think the 62. It has I think it has Gary Lockwood in it.
Huh.
But Kino Lorber has it on Blu-ray.
Nice.
I do have it, but I have not. It's one of the. It's in a pile of films I have yet to watch on Blu-ray. So I bought
Oh,
it on sale. So I know I have it somewhere in my collection.
Jill.
Yes,
So I
Scott.
have a question for Stone Racket, but I have to go and get my copy of Supergirl to ask it. So if you'll excuse me for just 1 second.
Oh, I know what
Okay,
you're.
that's
Okay,
right.
I know what he's
That's
gonna
all right.
do. I think, but I have to search my library of pictures here.
Okay,
I,
okay.
But you guys
Anyway,
go ahead. Go
this
ahead.
lady is a smoke show, and I
She's
can't believe
she's cute, isn't she?
she is cute.
She's
She
adorable.
is adorbs. Anyway, I'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
she is. And Gavin Blackburn says, I'm 50 and I can still play youthful. And well, yeah, I didn't mean to say that 50 was old, but it's like in Hollywood, there's a different standard, I guess. And or especially for women too. We're held differently. And so, yeah, Suzanne. Anyway, Samuel invites Walter to dinner. He agrees. Walter seems to be betrothed or engaged to Suzanne. It's some weird old timey thing where you've got to get the daddy's approval, and it's silly. But
What? What?
there's
What's silly about getting the parents' approval?
to get married. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you do it.
that's how you. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
how it used to be done.
well,
Nobody
yeah.
requires. I mean,
It's
it's nice if the family agrees, but they don't have to
yeah.
anymore.
It still should be done that way. But I'm an old-fashioned guy.
You're oldie old.
I'm an oldie Olsen, and I'm proud of it. Damn it. No.
Yeah, you are. It's good. But she's working on her PhD, and this is basically the excuse to get her out of the room for their discussion. So she's got to go hit the books. And Susanna's played by Dottie Heath.
Dodie Heath, I think is how you pronounce
Yes,
it. I don't know. I think that's how
that's
they
it.
pronounced it in the commentary. Uh,
I hope so.
yeah.
James Caserta is as old as Star Trek. Oh, and Jedi Master 2022 60. Yeah, it's all old people here. Greek letters Larson, be polite. Okay, wait. If I tell you to do that, you can't type anything. So never mind. And she was born in Seattle, Washington. Oh, right. Her dad put her on a milk. He was like, "Oh, this milk is great." He like sent in a fan letter for milk, and they printed her baby picture in the
Oh,
newspaper. I think that's a funny story.
that's funny.
Kind of cute. Yeah, I didn't know people would like send in. I guess you know fan mail for milk. And well, I don't really know all of the stuff she was in. So she was on the CBS mystery series, The Web. I never saw that. 1953. I don't know what that is. The Diary of Anne Frank, and
Yeah. I was just going to say she was in that movie. That's probably her best known role.
definitely that works. But she's basically told to go study, so Sam and Walter can play chess.
Yeah.
But Sam has something important to ask Walter.
I love seeing a man
Jill.
smoke a pipe.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely enjoying that pipe.
He's digging it.
I wish James Caserta. I'm not that young. Sam calculates that Walter's real age is 51 because he said he was 39 when he joined the university. But the real thing that Sam is disturbed about is that Walter doesn't seem to age. He hasn't aged since he met him. And he's like, I've aged. I've turned into an old man over this past 12 years. And well, you haven't at all. You haven't aged at all. What's going on? And then, not only that, he said, was your grandpa in the Civil War? Because he has this book and he saw this picture. And he's
See,
gonna.
and it was such an easy out for Walter. It was such an easy out. Was your grandfather in the Civil War? The answer is yes, Walter. Say yes.
Yes, that would have been the smart thing to do.
Exactly. That's every time I watch this, I think the same thing. You should say, well, it's funny you should say that. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But no, he says he admits he's that guy instead. And so then Sam is like, yeah, haha, I knew it. How old are you? And then so Walter's like, what if I told you? I talked to this guy right here, and he's referring to a bust of Plato. Let's see that.
Doesn't it give you like Requiem for Methuselah vibes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I love it. It's just like these are original compositions. I can't what? But I do enjoy the idea of Mr. Jameson being a living witness to history. And so self-aware. Like I was a coward then, I'm a coward now. I didn't want to die. And so I was a coward. And now I wanna, but I'm a coward. Can't do it.
Well, and you say that, and we will definitely talk about that. And the thing is, he's lived for over 2,000 years, according to him. And I have some notes here from the Siegfried book. Let me see what's going on here.
All right. Well, no,
It's,
but Jill,
McCarthy. Yeah.
remember in Dogma when Rufus, it's like, wait, are you saying you know Jesus? And I can't quote it specifically, but I'll paraphrase. It's like, know him. Dude owes me $12.
Yeah. So
and to quote Charles Bronson in Once Upon a Time in the West, there were no dollars in them days.
Yeah. So, well, and he remembers those days. That's the whole point, is that Walter has been alive for over 2,000 years. He's seen it all. He's seen all. So he's not just a historian who studies history. He lived the history. And so that's something that he has to deal with. But before we get into all of that, there's something from the Decree book that I wanted to share. He says he gave considerable thought to playing Jameson and decided, well, Stone Racket mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. The most credible way to play an immortal lay in understanding everything. Part of it, he explains, is that he had to be modest and unassuming. He didn't want to call any attention to himself. He always sort of fades into the landscape. And he said, I did my little segment in the new invasion of the body snatchers, and they said, my God, except that your hair has changed color, you look the same as you did when you did it 20 years ago. What is this anyway? My own kids, I can see, are very young looking. They don't have faces or physiques that denote the passage of time so easily. So I say to myself, maybe I am going to live to be 2,000 years old. And yeah, so that's.
I promise I will never die.
Apparently, yeah. Don't, except that he can still die physically, like you mentioned before, but he's too scared to do it.
He has that gun in his desk drawer.
Yeah, the revolver.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's like Martin Riggs every night.
So here's the dialogue. Let's see. Who wants to be Walter?
Oh, can I be Walter?
Yes. There's some good dialogue here. Basically,
I want to be Walter Mitty. No.
Wow, you know what? I've never seen the Walter Mitty.
Oh, that's a famous story by James Thurber. But yeah, there's a movie, but I prefer the story.
Two movies.
Yeah, there are. You're right.
Danny Kaye, and then also I saw it recently. Ben Stiller, and they were saying that was like one of the first times that they really filmed the majesty that is Iceland.
Yes.
All right.
So do you want me to be a part, or is this just for Walter?
Is this just Walter?
This time it's just Walter. When
cool.
there's more, I'll let you know.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump all over being Walter, but I'm.
Well, that's fine. No problem.
Thanks, man. Hang on a second. I have to clear my throat. I will mute. All right, I'm ready to roll here. I was like you, Sam, afraid of death. And when I thought of all the things there were to know in the miserable few years that a man had to know them, it seemed senseless. At night, every night, I dreamed as you dream of immortality. Only if a man lived forever, I thought, could there be any point at living at all. I talked to priests, philosophers. Then, one day, I met an alchemist. Told him these things. He said he could grant me my wish. It's death that gives this world its point. We love a rose because we know it'll soon be gone. Who ever loved a stone? In my desk, I have a revolver, Sam. And every night I take it out and I pray for the courage to pull the trigger. And I can't.
Yeah, so he's experiencing the great dilemma of being immortal, watching those you love grow old and die around you. And Walter explains that he wants to die, while Sam is saying that he fears death. And that's how the episode gets dark with the revolver. And it makes sense. The women only last around 10 to 20 years with him before they realize he isn't growing old with them. And because he can't just be honest. He can't just be like, hey, before we get married, I have to tell you, I'm never going to age.
Well, yeah, no, because, people will think you're crazy.
Well, all he needs to do is, with his soon-to-be wife, just get her a whole slew of oil of Olay. And then...
Does that stop the aging?
That will, yes, for the most part, it will.
We're not
Greek
sponsored
letters,
by oil or Olay.
I'm sponsored by Oil of Olay. Greek letters says, Scotty ruined it. He should have made a deeper voice. You know what? I'm not even going to be able to match up to the greatness that is Kevin McCarthy. I just wanted to inject a certain level of pathos. And if I fouled it up, then what else is new?
Yeah, it's it is what it is. I'm not gonna. I would never complain about.
No, it's like
his voice isn't like Kevin McCarthy. It's like, so what? At least
but it's like the beginning of Star Trek 2, where it's like, what did you think of my performance? And then Kirk says, not a drama critic.
I'm a doctor, not a drama. Oh, wait a minute, that's another character.
Different guy. Anyway, it's all just fun. I'm sorry if I failed you. Yeah, exactly. I'm a captain, not a theater critic.
Yeah. Okay, so but he should still be honest. I think he draws. If you're gonna be in love with someone, you have to be honest. If you respect them, you have to be honest. Even if.
But Sam even says that. Sam even says that, and it's like, I thought that age would bring wisdom, but obviously not so.
But to me, it's just so. It's like he's tired of living. It's like, well, dude, get a hobby, collect Legos, sideshow collectibles like I do.
But this is sort of the low key how history can bite you back is when old lady with the beautiful eyes shows up and she's like, you can't keep doing this.
Right.
Like he obviously left his wife
several
preemptively.
Wives.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is that don't you think that you would be like a widower and not just say, okay, you're too old now, I'm leaving. And so anyway, I don't want to skip to
the end. No. I think the women leave. Well, I guess did he leave her?
Yeah,
he had to. She was alive.
No.
Yeah, my impression is that he leaves them before it's noticeable what's going on. So he's probably, and so who knows how many years she's been looking for him, and the
Oh.
fact that he has his picture in the paper, and she notices it. But it's interesting, in the commentary with Kevin McCarthy, he talks about the fact that there was a sequence where he and his lady love here are at an event, and inadvertently they get their picture taken, and it's something that he tried to avoid, but in this case it was unavoidable. So it's one of those, social situations where before you know it, someone snapped your picture, and he tries to get it, and that's how this error has happened, where the picture has been published in a paper, and it's exactly what Walter Jameson was trying to avoid all these years.
Yeah,
So
because he doesn't
apparently there
want
was
people to connect the dots.
there was a sequence in the original script that they didn't film, or either had to cut out. I wasn't too clear on the commentary there.
That's interesting. But here he's just telling her that, they can run away together. Your father doesn't approve, so pack a bag. We're going to run
Yeah, it's
off.
like, wait a minute, but he does admit that he to her father that he made a mistake. He actually fell in love with her.
Yes, that's why.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and so he's just saying, well, what the heck? Let's just run off and get married, and the heck with everyone. It's like,
hmm And as Scotty already mentioned, the old lady we saw earlier catches up with Walter. And she's one of his old lovers, but she's grown so old that he no longer recognizes her, not even her eyes,
no,
or he refuses to admit it.
no, not a lover. It's one of his wives.
Well, I would
Well,
assume that they consummated.
Yeah, it's one of
his
his
wife.
one of,
Yeah,
one of his probably the only living abandoned a wife that he abandoned. So
yes, and she didn't call him Walter, she called him Tommy.
Tommy,
Hey,
yeah.
Tommy. Pull it together, Jerry.
She doesn't she doesn't want him to hurt anyone anymore, so she picks up
Right.
that revolver.
But
And
this is
so
it's so interesting because it's Kevin McCarthy, and he's such a charming, handsome man who cuts a figure. Like he is refined. He's gentlemanly and suave and knowledgeable, and being confronted by what's her name, Estelle, or something.
Her real name is Estelle Winwood, but
The character name.
Yeah, her character name is like
It's
Lauren.
an old name.
It's something
It's
like Lauren,
Gertrude, or yeah,
something like that.
But and when he finally, as only lovers cannot, or wives, spouses cannot avoid the accusation, he finally it's a subtle breakdown, and where he's like, "Oh, Trudy, I'm so sorry."
her name is Laurette Bowen, and
Lorette.
she does what he could not do. He's been trying to do this himself. He can't bring himself to end it, to end his life that he's bored of. He's bored like
Believe me, Captain, immortality consists largely of boredom.
Cochrane.
Oh, get a hobby, doggone it.
yeah.
Buy some Blu-rays. Get a flat screen TV. No,
Get a companion.
Get a companion.
Well, that's what
yeah.
he's been doing. A companion. That is what he's going for.
The Walter must continue.
Mm-hmm.
Long live Walter.
Yeah. But I do
or
anyway.
Tommy.
Before we get to Art Carney, what?
Well, he's been shot.
Once.
Yes, by Laurette Bowen.
Yeah.
And Sam returns to see, and Walter does not want medical attention, which is good because they wouldn't have been able to help.
I love this sequence. First things first, I love the fact that one of his wives killed him because she was slighted, but also because he's been slighting people over 2,000 years. I think it's great. And so when one of the women who loved him says, "You can't go on doing this," and then shoots him. Love it. Love the dramatic irony, and I love that he welcomes it. Like it's kind of beautiful. It's all he's ever wanted. I think that Lorette is the love of his life because she provided his death.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
doing it out of it's complicated. It's
Out of compassion for all of the
Yeah.
people that
Right.
he could potentially hurt with
Yeah.
his.
Now with could you go back
dishonesty.
to the previous slide that shows his face? No, where it shows the lines in his face. I think you had the slide.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
there you go.
uses. You're
Okay,
gonna explain the old
yeah,
age.
I'm going to
Please
explain
do.
this. This goes back to Ruben Mamoulian's director of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Frederick March. And George Clemens assisted on that movie. And so he and, of course, William Tuttle, they both knew this technique of using colored gels on the lights. And basically the makeup, the old age makeup and lines and shadowing is in red. And they just simply bathe the scene in red with a red gel and then fade that light out and then bring up lights with the green gel. And it looks like he's aging right on camera with this initial makeup. And it's interesting that in the commentary track that Kevin McCarthy says that Clemens assisted with, or excuse me, William Tuttle, the makeup for the 1932 production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the makeup for that film, $25,000 for that whole makeup sequence and the final makeup. But what they spent here, what they spent here on Twilight Zone was just $5,000. But it's just in my opinion a little more complicated sequence because it's 3 stages of makeup, but the final makeup needed a lot of prosthetics, and foam rubber and whatnot. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting contrast that back in 32, was the whole sequence. He got 25,000, and then for this, it was like, no, you can do it for just 5,000. It's like we're on a tight budget here, but they did. It was really good work, though.
I think it's amazing work, just in terms of the transitions, the dissolves, how they directed it. It gives me end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade vibes.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think was like the idea of aging thousands of years instantly is terrifying. Like, I think that aging instantly is terrifying. I'm glad that I get to do it gradually. But this is but it's something that he wants. That's what I think differentiates.
Yeah, the fact that he wants a release, and he can't self-delete on his own, which is
he can. He's just a coward.
He
can, but he chooses not to.
He hasn't been able to do it for
right.
however long.
Right, and he's a coward. He's afraid of death, but there's no reason to be afraid of death. It's only the body that dies. Our spirit continues on, so we're eternal, by default. But I wish I could tell Walter. I wish I could tell Walter that. It's like it's just your body that dies. This temporary residence that we're all trapped in.
And that depends on how you believe, your faith and your beliefs and what you think happens from afterlife.
Well, it's not just what Stone Racket believes. It's the truth. I have to state it quite frankly if I'm being responsible.
There are thousands of
about
thousands of confident religions,
but only one of them is right.
Yeah, that's right. Jews.
So I can't remember who was the philosopher that said, I'm trying to think, the philosopher that said all religions are, they're not all wrong and they're not all right, but only one of them is right. I can't remember which one said that.
I believe Stephen Colbert on the Colbert Report back when he was funny.
No, it's
he said, "No, wait. Let me finish.
He's not
and
a
he
philosopher.
said there
He's
are
just an
many
entertainer.
religions on earth. Come on, let me finish. He said there are many religions on earth, and you can use any one of them to allow Jesus Christ into your heart.
No, there's only one.
Which one?
Oh,
Hinduism?
okay.
Christianity, because all religions.
Oh, let's start a jihad.
That's
No.
Jedi Master 2022.
Yeah.
Jedi Master 2022 says we can debate that someday, but
not today.
Let's not
today.
No, Scotty is not Jewish. He wants to be Jewish, but he has.
I do. I am not yet Jewish, but I'm hoping. Anyway,
But-
Jacob Ironside in the chat
on
says, "Shot
from-
through the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name." I was trying to help Jake. Jacob
thank you.
Ironside in the
Well,
chat.
Well, moving on to the heavier makeup. After they do the trick with the lines and the light and the red and all the green light and all that stuff, that cool stuff. Then they also make a life mask of McCarthy. So they make a mold of McCarthy, and so that they can make all the folds and wrinkles, and it was modeled in plastic scene, an oil-based clay that never dries out. So they made components for the forehead, the cheek, the chin, the neck, the upper lip, and a separate mold was made. So this is the second one,
good.
and then there's a third one. Rubber pieces were cast from molds and glued onto McCarthy's face, so that we see McCarthy growing old instead of just hiring other actors, old men. I think this is great. Oh,
well, and I like it because usually when old man makeup gets applied, it looks shitty. And because of the camera angles and the lighting, because they keep flipping on the lights and off the lights, like there is something so captivating, and like it is realistic, even though I'm like, oh no, they're doing the old man makeup, and I'm like, it doesn't look bad. 1960 good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks really good. I wish that whoever did McCoy on the first episode of TNG, pay attention to this, how this was done. This was really good. It really does capture age. Like he looks older than 100 in that last shot.
It's so
and now
difficult
he's
when
gone
you bring up
directly to dust. So
ashes to ashes. I was expecting an
yes,
ashes to
I was
ashes,
thinking that too.
and they never did. And I liked it. I liked that they didn't lean on it.
Mm-hmm. But you think it comes to your mind anyway.
Yeah, evocation.
Because as Stone Racket says, there is only one. Closing narration. Claire's closing narration is: last stop on a long journey. As yet, another human being returns to the vast nothingness. That is the beginning, and into the dust. That is always the end. And that's how that's the end of Long Live Walter.
Long live Walter Mitty. But no, like the thing is, and it's so funny because we had a conversation about this the other day, and last time a couple of times before when we were doing a review of the Twilight Zone, and Stone Racket reassured me. He said, "Don't worry about it. Every episode of the Twilight Zone ends with Rod Serling saying, 'In the Twilight Zone.'" And this is an episode where he doesn't say it.
Not this one. Yeah, this one is one of the and the first one was
I never said he says it in every episode.
I think you were just referring to when I was reading something and I was like, is this what I'm supposed to do? And you were like, don't worry, everything it always ends in the Twilight Zone. But it stuck in my head. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it was something that I've always I'm paying attention to it now.
Yeah,
and it's like, so every episode says in the Twilight Zone, and it was like, this is the only one so far.
No, there's like 3. I think there's 3. There's been one more. There was a previous episode that didn't have Twilight Zone.
Yes, there
Uh,
was.
and so
Maybe
I
that
think
was the one that I got confused in.
yeah, maybe that was. I don't know. But most of the episodes end with the Twilight Zone.
The other one was the 4 of us are dying.
Yeah.
Oh, did you put the closing narration in the private
I
chat?
read the closing narration.
I know, but I want to try it in the Twilight Zone at the end of it.
Okay. Go for it. Before you do, I need to say see you later to Sigvaldison. I've got a meeting to go to. The best to you all. Best to you too. Hope the meeting goes well.
And you know what? Hail to your eldritch god.
Also,
I never say that.
Fireside says, why is his suit and talcum powder all over the floor? That's him.
That's something his fiance would say. What? Wait a minute. What's with his clothes and talcum powder?
Am I late for the rapture?
That's exactly what she says. Suzanne's like, it's just his clothes. What's going on? And yeah, so he aged 2,000 years in a few minutes after he was shot.
Yes.
So I guess it's good that in all this time, over 2,000 years, he never got a paper cut.
Well, no, it's not like he's,
No.
shot, Jill.
He needed to be mortally wounded in order
Okay. I didn't know how heavily he has to be wounded.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just, Jill, use logic. What's going on here? Use your Vulcan logic.
Logic.
All right. I think
Last stop on a long journey as yet another human being returns to the vast nothingness that is the beginning and into the dust that is always the end in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I think that works better.
It references Genesis, God telling Adam that he will return to dust because dust is where he came from.
Well, and I do that's one of the things I do enjoy as we were discussing before.
Let me read that previous one. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me, is found in John 14:6, where Jesus is stating that he is the sole path to God. That's right.
I don't know. I'm a Scientologist.
Could you go back to that, please?
You're not.
Could you go back to the? Yeah, it's like one person on a talk show was saying it's not a way, it is the way.
All right, calm down there.
The life. No, I've got to say what I have to say.
No, and I understand, and that's cool. And I'm in no way upset.
When you do the good life, I would like to join you. The Good Life episode. Okay.
Yeah, he said this is the second time Jedi Master 2022 has said that, and it's like,
all right,
don't worry, we've all got it written down. No, that'd be cool.
I'll do it again.
It's like, in fact,
Jedi Master, do you want to just join the Twitter group so you can join whichever episode you want?
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, come on, man.
I was just going to suggest that. Jill read my mind.
Yeah. Well, okay. So also, I've got to read the previews for next week. So we know before we talk about other stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I can read alternate previews, but I won't.
So next week, an excursion to Mars with Roddy McDowell and Paul Coney. 2 men trying to prove a point. A simple proposition that men are alike all over, and on Mars, they discover that this is just whistling in the dark. People are not alike, and next week in the Twilight Zone, you'll see why.
See, and Scotty, then also next week in the Twilight Zone.
In the Twilight Zone. Okay, so then this is the preview for the other next week's story.
Yeah.
This may look like some kind of kooky greenhouse. Actually, it happens to be a conveyance, a mode of travel, time travel. And next week, you'll see Albert Salmi take an extended journey from 1880 to 1960. I hope then, next week, you'll be able to take another walk with us into the Twilight Zone. And then it says, Sterling disappears, but we still hear his voice.
Huh?
Hey, where did everybody go? See, I had considered making slides for all these previews because that exists, and these are actual videos. But I think it's more fun for me to just read them.
Yeah, that's interesting because I don't remember that
Where he
on
actually did promos
on
for
the
the
on the
episodes.
Blu-ray.
They exist somewhere.
Huh. I don't remember the disappearing thing and the setup for Execution, which is that episode with Albert Salmi.
Spoilers.
I'll have to, and I think, spoilers. Yeah, I won't talk about that episode. Spoilers.
See, that's the thing, is that I've never seen any of these episodes. I've seen like the famous ones, and this is why it's so fascinating and entertaining. And I'm so happy to be able to play. Is like every week I get 2 episodes of what I know is brilliantly written, subversive science fantasy, like even just fantastical fiction. I love this, exploring something new and different.
I'm like
So,
you, Scotty. I see all the Twilight Zones that the PBS puts for their marathons, so that's all the classics. But then there's all these episodes that they don't play that I get to see.
I'm just curious, Scotty, since you just said that.
Mm.
Had you seen today's episodes before?
No, brand new.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they're both
Amazing.
winners, and
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. You need to talk about that a little more.
Sure.
About hey, this I haven't never seen this one before, and you just give us a quick capsule reaction, overall reaction.
Well,
sometime, because I'm always interested in first time viewers on some of these. It's just.
But the thing is like when you say that you saw this back when it was aired or when you saw it in the first round of reruns and whatnot, that's an interesting story. Like when you first encountered it and how it influenced you as a young person. But for me, well, I guess I was younger. It was this morning. I'm older than I was then.
Yeah.
But it's brand new to me. And there's a Tom Savini quote. He was special effects. He still is special effects artist. He was in Dusk Till Dawn. He directed the Night of the Living Dead remake. He was in Dawn of the Dead. And it's like, it's not old if you've never seen it before.
Yeah. And
I love that.
Tom Savini was also he played Lancelot in the Knight Riders. Have you seen that?
I have not seen.
Oh, you got to see Knight Riders. That's a Romero film. That's
wow!
Offbeat, non-gory Romero film, Knight Riders, and it has has Tom Savini as Lancelot, and then Arthur is played by I can't think of his name. He played John Glenn in The Right Stuff. It's
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris. Yeah, I knew it was Edward or something in there.
Sure.
But and it's instead of course, being in the medieval times, they're on motorcycles.
So Stone Racket. Now that we're done, I have to ask you: are we here? What's going on? Everything is gone.
I was just gonna.
StreamYard is going.
Yeah, StreamYard is weird. I was just gonna change my avatar, and all of a sudden now we're all small.
Well, I've always been small. I'm a petty man. So Stone Racket.
Oh, it's Scotty. Oh, hello.
So I got my copy. We discussed it before. I got my copy of Supergirl. And I was curious because it's out of a printing of 50,000.
Yeah.
Here,
and I
have. Yeah. What number do you have?
I was desperately trying to find the picture I took of the back of my DVD case, and I can't find it. So I I know I posted it on the Columbo podcast forum, but I don't remember what thread it was on. So I'm gonna have to search through all the threads on the Columbo podcast to find it because it's not on my computer for some reason. I don't know
Can
why.
you ballpark it?
I really couldn't tell you.
All right.
I'm really sorry. What was your
No,
was
you
your
don't have
number?
to. You don't have to apologize. It's such a
What-
weird fucking
what-
pissing contest.
Yeah, what was
Do
your
I
number?
have 3,289?
Oh wow. Yeah, I think mine was mine is a higher number than that. I think mine was 3,500 something.
Oh wow.
So yours and the gentleman that was on the Columbo podcast, both of you have lower numbers.
Younger
So
Supergirls.
well, basically, they're more valuable. If
Well,
you
I
want
don't care. I'm just gonna watch it. I don't even think it's a
yeah.
good movie, but
But
I wanted it.
I can't. Yeah, that really bothered me because I thought I had a copy of that on my computer, but I searched Supergirl, I searched Supergirl DVD, I searched Image DVD, and I couldn't find it. So I'm like, where the hell is it? So I was trying to find it.
Well,
Once you mentioned that, I knew immediately what you're going to want.
I know.
And I was searching and searching, and I was like, well, 'cause I was so distracted, and I said, well, I better get back to the Twilight Zone discussion because this is
Yeah.
too distracting.
No, I was usurping. I was
I think
invading.
mine was like more like 3,500 something, if I remember right. So
Well, still, mine's 35. Mine's 3,200. So
Yeah,
it's still good. It's still good.
yeah, and I think Salty, that was his username. I think his was like 2,800. So he had a.
Ooh.
It's like ooh.
So if you'd like to, because every Wednesday night I get to hang out on Cinema Gulp, and I usually do a physical media sort of presentation if I get something new, and this is going to be the one that I do tomorrow night. It's going to be a blast, and so we can talk about that. But also, I wanted to give a big shout out to my producer, my co-producer over on the Phantasmagorium. It is Steve's birthday, and he is 35 years old, and I think he is a fantastic man. He is the person who cajoled me into having into having an internet presence. And if I have best friends on the internet, Jill is certainly one, and Steve is certainly another, and then Kat.
And then there's Kat.
And then there's Kat.
And then there's Kat.
Yeah. Well,
Lovely.
But I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You okay? You're just celebrating. Okay, good.
So
you go.
Thursday there is going to be a celebration for Steve, or?
I think we're doing the celebration on Saturday night.
On Saturday.
I was exhausted this Saturday past, and I kind of wanted to wait until he had actually aged. So I think on Saturday night we're going to be talking about the incredible film about an artist, a DJ, called "It's All Gone, Pete Tong." It is fantastic. I saw it in theaters. And Steve and I share our affection for that film. So I think we're going to be doing that on Saturday.
So Mars Monkey Max says, wait, Steve is Fantastic Man? Way to go, keeping his secret identity, Scotty.
He's DJ Chili T.
Mr. Fantastic?
And I'm a thing. I know a lot of you think that I'm the Human Torch because I flame on. But no, I'm not. I'm just a thing.
I'm orange.
Mr. President.
No. I'm an orange kitty cat. I was thinking.
Oh,
orange.
right. I'm sorry. I forgot.
The thing is orange. Mr. Limpet. Yeah, Mr. Limp, the incredible Mr. Limpet. Oh, I wish I was a fish.
The more I see Don Knotts, the more I dislike Don Knotts.
Barney Fife, he's just brilliant in Andy Griffith, but his solo films are an acquired taste. Let me just put it that way.
Like, I liked him as Mr. Furley, but I don't think I ever got to see anything other than Mr. Furley.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. That's the Three's Company character.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've never watched the show, but I know he was on it.
Oh, don't you like boobs?
Never watched the show.
Never saw the boobs.
Never watched it either.
I watched Charlie's Angels, but I didn't watch Three's Company.
Fair enough. I'm not accusing you of anything.
Oh, I thought you were. No.
How dare you threaten me for
How
not watching
dare
Three's
you.
Company? I am a heterosexual man.
I am a flaming heterosexual.
A flaming hetero. I've never heard that before. I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I am a flaming heterosexual, sir.
Yeah, that's right. I've used that on.
I have a copy of Supergirl.
Yeah, forum post. I go on a forum post on the Colombo podcast forum. I said I was doing my oh woe is me routine in a little comedy bit I wrote, and I had my character say, "I am a flaming heterosexual who cannot find a woman's heart to ignite." So I'm like,
well, and another
that clears everything up.
That clears it up. Like, and that's one of the things I enjoy confusing people about my sexuality, because quite frankly, are you gonna have sex with me? I don't think so. We're over like very long distances. But like, I stole a Norm Macdonald joke, another one, and I was like, I am deeply closeted. It's like, so you're gay? Hey, whoa, no, I'm deeply closeted. I wouldn't admit to my homosexuality. So you're gay? No, I'm hiding it very well.
Yeah, that was a Larry King interview, and it's a very good interview.
Yeah,
and I didn't even know that Norm Macdonald wrote a book. I want to read it.
I know. I just checked to see if it was in the library. It's checked out currently, but I'm gonna have to steal it from there.
Yeah, with what you were just saying, Scotty, it reminds me of another joke that I did on the Colombo podcast forum, but it was from True to Life, because for some strange reason, even though I went into staff screening when I was suspecting that I had strep throat or something that might lead to that, I would go in to get screened, and every stinking doctor would ask me the same thing. They'd go, they'd be asking just general questions, and then they'd go, "Are you sexually active?" And I go, "No." And they go, "Are you?" And then they go, "Are you gay?" And I would always say, "No, I'm morose." and not one of those bastards would laugh or crack a smile when I said that, and I thought it was pretty damn funny. But
I was a assistant manager at a restaurant, and as people got comfortable with the camaraderie, when a new person enters into their work situation, one of the people was like, "Scott, how many times have you come?" And I was like, "What, today?" And they were like, "You're fine. You're cool. It's great.
You're fired."
No. They were so happy. I was like, "Whatever," or "Today." And they're like, four times. So anyway, that's my joke. It obviously landed like a Led Zeppelin.
Well, that's okay, because I was distracted by the poll. We have a poll here.
Yes, I was distracted by the poll as well.
A World of Difference won? How dare they? No.
Yeah, A World of Difference wins with 59%.
That's interesting. How many total votes, Jill? Oh, 17 votes.
With 17 total votes, we have A World of Difference at 59% and Long Live Walter Jameson at 41%. What was that sound? Was somebody
that was a
puffing
Scotty.
an air balloon?
I just blew my nose with a sock.
Okay, I'm ending the poll.
Yeah,
17. Usually we get over 20 votes, so that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, Jacob gets it.
And okay, so there's a question in the chat that's relevant to today. Lol, so no jury duty, Jill? I had it yesterday. I had jury duty yesterday. Normally they have jury duty on Monday, but the other week they didn't have it on
Yeah, it was a
Monday because
holiday.
it was St. Patrick's Day. Yes, a
Yeah.
holiday.
So, did
All
you
the judges were drunk.
did you how did that go? Was it what
Obviously, I wasn't selected because I'm
you
not
weren't
there today.
selected? I thought, or was it a one and done kind of thing? So,
It was. What
yeah.
do you mean one and done?
Oh, it's something that could be solved in a day, but I guess that's impossible, right?
No, this is a murder case. It's gonna take
Oh,
a while.
oh, forget it then. Oh dear.
It's gonna take 3 to 12 days.
Yeah, or
That's gonna
more.
take a while.
So you
It
weren't
is.
selected because you
Yeah.
said hang the bastard. No,
No, what she did, she took my advice. She took my advice because I said, Jill, if you want to get out of jury duty, what you do, have a big meal the night before. Hold it. And then when they start asking you questions, just poop yourself. And people are going to be like, what's that smell? And it's like, I pooped myself. And it's like, did you do that on purpose? And the answer is, I feel it's natural. Yes.
Scotty,
I like to poop wherever I poop. And so then they said, please go. And then Jill went immediately to the closest shower because she doesn't obviously poop herself in public.
well,
this is not at all what happened.
if they said,
that's what I read.
If they said, please go, you're supposed to say, but I already did.
Exactly. You're just sitting on a muffin top.
Please leave the premises immediately.
Well, speaking of leaving, Booger 414 has to head out. And so bye Booger. I hope
Bye,
you have a
Booger.
good rest of your day. Wear your Starfleet uniform to jury duty. It worked for that one woman years ago. Well, I do happen to wear dresses that have paintings on them, like the Starry Night or different Van Gogh paintings.
Your Starry
Night. So I already dressed like a nerd. So it's like it works.
She wore a large blouse with my avatar from this stream on it, and then she pooped herself. And then they were like, "Yeah, you can
I
go."
didn't poop. Okay, can you stop saying that I pooped myself? Because
Why
I did
do you
not
take
do
it
that.
so personally, like it actually happened?
Booger
it's just
Booger
weird.
414.
It is weird. That's why it's funny.
Booger 414. He should have Grand Pooh Bar 414. No.
So what happened was I was juror number 120, and there were 120 jurors.
Ooh.
And so the I don't know who he is, but he said, they usually don't select people who have such a high number. So
yeah,
and he was right. I did not get selected.
Yeah,
I did. The way I got out of it was saying nothing. Like they have you raise your card when things like, do you agree with this, or there was this one lady where will you hold it against the defendant if he's not proven 100% innocent, like or something like that. If and she would hold up her card for everything. She was as biased as you could possibly be. It was the funniest thing seeing her raise her card.
Would you hold it against him?
Question.
And Jill goes, "Damn right I would." No.
No, I hardly ever held up my card.
Yeah.
If the defendant said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against them?
Yeah. That's the Hungarian phrase book skit on Monty Python.
Well, it's more interesting.
If I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
The juror, the judge, and the lawyers, they were all pretty charismatic. It was interesting. They're actors, just like in TV.
Were there any Utes?
These Utes.
2 Utes.
And it's funny because the director, being British, when he heard Pesci say that slang, he just said, well, we got to keep that in the movie because it threw him off. So he said, let's have it throw off the judge. And then I thought that was pretty funny.
I think that movie is fantastic based on the performances. It's comedy genius. I do think that Marissa Tomei deserved the Oscar. And I think that it is probably my favorite Fred Gwynne performance.
Yeah, it's Fred Gwynn and Marissa Tomei.
Well, it's funny you
For
mentioned
me,
that
are the movie. They're just awesome.
because one of the lawyers did use the ending of My Cousin Vinny as one of his examples of, when
You're
he was talking
kidding.
about circumstantial evidence, or he was talking about beyond all of the stuff. How you bring science into a courtrume,
Yeah.
because people can lie, but the science isn't going to lie.
Was
Yeah.
there a metallic mint green Pontiac Skylark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, are we wrapping this up? Because I really have to pee.
Oh
You
dear.
can go.
Take a
Okay.
break.
I'm actually go take a break. I actually just wanted to finish. We finished the.
Okay, I'll be
poll.
back in a sec, but I'll come back.
And okay, and I do have some chats that I saved up.
Oh, okay.
I got a few
Chats.
minutes.
We got to have chats.
Yeah. So earlier when we had Walter smoking on his pipe, Booger 414 had said, "When you smoke on a pipe, you always look serious, never whimsical."
This is true. That's and
Yeah.
in my experience, all the adult smoking pipes were most serious and studious looking.
I would agree with that, except when Greek letters Larson says halfling smoke, and that reminds me of Gandalf's boat. I think it's kind of whimsical to blow smoke of a boat in the shape of a boat through Bilbo's smoke ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I could analyze that, but I won't.
Okay. I can't tell you what we smoke in the UK, says Gavin Black.
Well, I don't want to know. No.
FKHC 2005 says that was its ye old crack pipe. Well,
Oh,
I guess
not for Walter Jameson.
if
It's just
Walter
good
Jameson.
old tobacco.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of my my friends in grade school, his father was a geology professor, and he'd come home and he'd have his pipe. And I just remember one time he takes his pipe out and he looks at me, he goes, "Now you see here, son," when he was talking to me. And I'm like, it's like, yep, he's very serious there with his pipe and fatherly manner.
Yeah, that's what FKHC said. You look important with the pipe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
are
like,
about to tell a story from your youth.
yeah. It's like, "Now you see here, son." And the thing is, he did that to my older brother too one time. So it's like, yeah, I got that treatment too from the professor.
Yes, the Gavin Blackburn says the best on-screen pipe smoker was in When Worlds Collide. The astronomer in the movie lets smoke out of his pipe when he delivers bad news.
Aha.
And Greek.
Hello. No sound.
Oh, okay. Well, at first maybe, but eventually you end up knowing everything about each other.
Collect Legos. Yay. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
yeah. James Caserta. Yeah, collect
Yeah.
Legos. That's how to deal with immortality.
Yeah. And Sideshow collectibles and Blu-rays. That's how I'm dealing with retirement.
James
and
Caserta.
appearing on live streams with Jill on her channel.
Oh, yeah. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that you spend time here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love being here.
I'm glad you showed up and that your doctor appointment. Hopefully that went okay.
It went a little longer than I thought because I also got a visit from a therapist, and
Oh.
but yeah, I have another appointment on Friday. But man, my lower back is sore still. But at least I'm walking at warp speed instead of at sublight speed. Beforehand, I was at sublight, so I was in every step. There was a bit of pain, so now things are a little better. But man, things were out of whack. Let me tell you, you gotta get to a chiropractor when things get out of alignment.
Oh, I'm glad
And
that helped.
yeah, and one more thing. chiropractors are not quacks.
Yeah, I do hear that sometimes, but
Yeah, that
I appreciate that.
this guy is excellent, and he studied with my previous chiropractor, who is probably the best I've ever encountered. He also worked with the university in sports medicine, because I would run
Oh,
in. It was
okay, that's
Dr. Hammerstrom. I'd run into him occasionally when I was working at the hospital, and it was like, "Oh, Dr. Hammerstrom, how are you?"
that's great.
But
I'm
yeah,
glad it helped. Really.
he was fantastic. He solved my problem. I was having these stabbing pains in my feet when I was working on the night crew, and I was doing a cart transfer, and I pulling two 600-pound carts at the same time, and
Oh
that
no,
screwed,
that doesn't sound
yeah,
hard.
that screwed me up, and I had these weird pains in my feet, and then everybody on the night crew, "Hey, it's your back. Go see a chiropractor." And I finally did.
Mm,
One visit, boom, problem solved.
yay! Oh, I'm glad that worked out. Um, James Caserta is apparently living in the Twilight Zone. When Jill ends her show, everything all goes black and disappears.
Ah! Jill fades into another dimension, and we are pulled in with her.
When Jill is over, I grope around in the darkness, bumping into things.
Bumping in. That's
You and me
funny.
both, sister.
That's funny. Yeah, it's like, Jill, don't go.
Come back, Zinc. Anyway.
And James Caserta, okay, Berger, before he left, he said, if only Celebrity Deathmatch was still around. And I don't really know what he was referring to, but I really
it was
like
a
Celebrity
show.
Deathmatch. No, I
Yeah.
know I loved Celebrity Deathmatch, but I don't know why he mentioned it. But it's really great, really funny.
You know what
Claymation.
my least favorite episode of Celebrity Deathmatch was?
Which one? I don't remember any
Star
of
Trek
them.
Generations.
No. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that. But I need to rewatch that. That's kind of funny. The monolith was
What?
God's old
Celebrity
discarded.
Deathmatch or Generations?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not Generations. The monolith, I guess 2001 was God's
Yeah.
old discarded smartphone.
Well, the thing is, it was the perfect machine without instrumentalities, like they say in Forbidden Planet. That's the monolith to a T.
Mm-hmm.
With you know, it's basically like if God were to have a perfect machine, it would be just like that. It'd be this multi-purpose thing with no instrumentalities, I would think. But yeah, it was an interesting concept for the movie 2001 to have that monolith be such a mythic,
Mm-hmm.
device
What's
and
the
image
what's
and
the
everything.
what's the name of the religion that worships Q as a deity?
You,
I'm curious. Am I a Qist? Am I
you,
am
I
I
guess
Q-ish? I'm
you're,
Q-ish.
I don't
you're,
know.
you're, it's whatever it is. It's Mondo Bizarro.
It is very Mondo Bizarro, sir. Yes.
Ooh, Jedi
It's
Master
weird
20.
because
Yeah, that's
Q
right.
admits itself to be alien species, even though they behave like a god.
Yeah, Jedi
One
Master.
of my favorite quotes from all of Star Trek: The Next Generation is when Q says, "May whatever god you believe in," and then he chuckles. He's like, "Have mercy on your soul." I love that moment. Just the idea of a god dismissing God.
Yes. Except he's not a god.
He's a Q.
I don't know.
He's a Q. He's a Q.
Yeah.
He can but I mean, if he can change the laws of physics, yeah, maybe he's
Just
God.
change the gravitational plane of the universe. It's very easy.
Gavin Blackburn says Joe Pesci released a song called "Take Your Love and Shove It," based on his
Yeah,
character
man.
persona from My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny. Oh, what is his last name? Gambini. Vincent Gambini. Yeah, Joe Pesci released an album in the character of Vincent Gambini, and it is amazing. Take you. Oh, I can't even sing it right now because it's in the afternoon and there's a lot of swears.
Yeah. Well, but people can go look for it themselves. James
Yeah.
Caserta says your religion is either called Qism or hubris.
I'm hubris. I'm very
Hubris.
hubris.
That second one's funny.
Well, yeah, but that's
And-
also only if you follow the Borg called Hugh.
And
Jill fell into a
yes.
pocket dimension, says
I
Jacob
did.
Ironside. It's
I
like,
did.
oh,
I did. That's true. And I think
Yeah.
we've made it to the end here. I want to thank you guys for talking to me about the Twilight Zone today.
I'd like to thank you for. Wait, what am I thinking?
wait, what are we thinking you for? Oh, yeah.
I gotta figure something out.
Yeah,
And for Gavin Blackburn, I would like to say, and I believe this is from the Night Gallery movie.
No,
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do.
And the key lyric is, I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
It won't
For
be a
the-
stylish marriage.
I
I
can't
cannot
afford
afford
a carriage.
carriage.
But you
But
look
you
sweet
look sweet upon
on
a
the
seat.
seat of a bicycle built for two.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Pay the
No,
money.
and-
Super chat this shit.
And the reason why I hesitated a bit is because you already did your plug, and so I was like, what do I do now? Because Stone Racket, is there anything you want to share?
I have
he-
a kitty cat on my lap. He just jumped on my lap, and that would be Mr. Chico. And he
Chico,
says
hi,
hello.
Chico.
I have cats, 2 of them. They're both orange tabby cats.
How do you
But,
tell them apart?
Oh, it's easy.
All right.
Chico is smaller, and he has a white bib and a white muzzle. And Harpo is what you see here as my avatar. He's mostly orange with very little white. But yeah, they're my 2 emotional support animals. And Jill has my Twitter and my Blu-ray forum link there. I post there as the cat. And both Chico and Harpo are celebrities there on the Blu-ray.com forums. I always take pictures of my physical media with my cats involved in one way or another, because my audience demands it there. If I don't post pictures of if I don't post pictures of my cats, they get upset. And I was thinking, well, I'll do it once in a while. But they were like, well, where are your cats? Come on, And so I have to take pictures of my kitty cats all the time with my physical media purchases.
Well, I have to thank Jill because she is my emotional support animal.
Jill is not an animal. She's a Jill.
She's a human being.
Well,
Yeah, that's
all
right.
Human,
She's a human
all
being.
human beings are in fact animals.
No, they aren't.
We
They're-
try to separate ourselves from the animal kingdom,
No,
but
we are.
We're just conscious of
No,
our existence.
we're separate from the animals.
I
And
disagree because that's
there are
what's
some-
that.
There are some. Let me finish. There are
Yeah.
some. This is a joke, so hopefully this will be funny. But
Let's hope.
there are those that say that language is what separates us from the animals. But I always say that, and the fact that we're not afraid of vacuum cleaners.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, some children are afraid of vacuum cleaners.
No. I'm talking about that's animals. Doggone it.
What was it? I went the last job interview I went to, and this would have been in like 2015. And they said, they were like, so if you were an animal, what would you be? And I was like, human.
Yeah.
I'd like to stay human. Yeah.
Yeah, we're separate from the animals.
I'm a
But,
strange animal.
But
you
I
could
mean,
tell
that's
which
what I
animal I
know.
would.
I mean,
Yeah, we can
I mean,
say so.
we can, like Scotty was using it as a, metaphorically speaking, but yeah, I truly believe that we are our own thing and animals are different.
Planet
But
of the Jill.
but our spirits are different than the animals, but they also have spirits and they also go to heaven. So
Like all
All
dogs.
dogs go to
yeah,
heaven.
Jill is on my side.
and all kitties too, and because
No, cats go to hell. That's what they
animals,
rule it
No,
though.
they don't.
it's like
No, but they
Not
rule
necessarily.
hell.
it's like
No, no.
like Thomas More
Yeah.
said, God created plants for their simplicity, animals for their innocence, and man to worship him.
Cute.
So DJ Play Nice says, "Have an awesome remainder of the day. All y'all be safe. Have fun. Take care of your crew and rock."
Yeah,
Maybe
rock.
says that.
My crew consists of 2 orange tabby kitties. How about you?
Just surrounded by pussies.
And Jill has quite a
Mhm.
crew. Her
I meant
Klingon
that
husband and
in
her
a
2 children.
complimentary way.
Right, Jill?
That's true. Yes. Yeah, half Vulcan, half Klingon children. So
Yeah, that's funny that you refer to your husband as Klingon, but that's because
well, he hates my tribble.
he hates
Yeah.
your tribble. That's too bad. I love tribbles. I have 2 of them.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who's been in the chat too. Jedi Master 2022. Let me see how my document does. You know, the document, the one thing this bot doesn't do right is the document in which gets everybody's name. It's supposed to get everybody's name who was in the chat. Let's see how well it did this time.
I wasn't even in the chat. I was only on the
Okay.
panel. And I'm still trying to pass the audition, ladies and gentlemen.
You shall not pass. No.
I will not. I will not. I'll Tom Bombadil all over my realm.
You Tom Bombadil, you are very silly.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun.
Okay, and so maybe it worked this time. Maybe it worked because I didn't open.
Did it work?
Yeah, maybe. Oh my gosh.
James Caserta in the chat says Jill is a tribble, and the thing that I was very terrified because I glanced at the chat and then I had to look back and I was like, Jill is a terrible, and I was like, no, oh, tribble, yeah,
Yeah. Jill's not terrible.
Well, I want to thank DJ Play Nice and Mars Monkey Max, FKHC 2005, Gavin Blackburn, Jacob Ironside. Really great to see you here today. Greek Letters Larson, appreciate your opinions. Booger 414, hope you're having a good day. If you come back and listen to the end of this later, Swift Minus One, Mad G did make it. Mad G was here. Gorilla Sensor Thoughts, yes, he was here. So was Miss Sparkles. I'm so glad you're
Miss
returning, Miss Sparkles. Mm-hmm. Then we also, of course, had James Caserta, Watcher X, DJ Knight, and Jerry Ryan.
Thank you.
Valdison. And let's see, was there anybody else? Did I miss anybody?
Did you say Jedi Master 2022?
I might have not said him.
Thank you, Master.
He sent the chat feed a pic of Thor. Okay.
The chat feed? A pic of Thor. Oh, okay. And okay, I'm not going to Twitter right now. Yeah, probably on Twitter, but I'm about to close the show, so I'm not gonna go.
Oh, are we done? Around. I didn't even know we were live.
We're just thanking the chat.
We're alive. We're alive and kicking.
All right.
I'm just saying if there was. Do you know if there was anyone else here?
The spirit of Leonard Nimoy was here. And
oh, he's my hero.
He was here.
I would have put on a button-up shirt.
FKHC 2005 was here, which is rad.
The Comic Relief Crusader.
Also here. Also a contributor to the conversation and delight. And Lee Harvey Oswald was here. Fuck off.
No, I don't think he was here.
He was a Twilight Zone fan. And Greek Letters, deep fake monkamom. Now I'm just making up words.
Yeah, that last one didn't sound like a person.
What? Deep fake monkamom?
Like you're mixing up Mars Monkey Max with somebody else.
Maybe. Who knows?
I think that's everyone. If I
Watcher
didn't get
X.
you,
We didn't
I'll get
say
you next
hey,
time.
Watcher X.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did we say James
I said him.
Caserta?
Yes, we did. We got him all.
No. You
We
think
did it.
so? You sure?
So thanks everyone for being awesome and
Yeah.
hanging out, talking about the Twilight Zone, the going into your figuring out which is the real reality you're truly living in, and what you would do if you were truly immortal, how you would treat life. Just thanks for being so insightful. And I hope to see you again next Tuesday. Oh, and I need to update my membership video. There's some new members, so I'm going to update this soon. So it's still a little out.
Oh, wow. New members.
Yeah, there are some new members.
Yeah.
Members are always welcome.
Your end credits. Yeah, you got to update those.
I do.
And of course, we know what Jerry Seinfeld says about end credits. Show me the names.
So again, that's all for this time in the Twilight Zone. See you next Tuesday in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday. See you. And never mind.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
See you around the galaxy.